Okay, and then I just muted what's on the main thing. All right, guys, welcome back. Oh, 5 watching. Okay, I thought it was at 0. It jumps to 5. Oh, 7 watching. Let's go. Let's get this started. We have a place to go and congregate and talk right now about what just happened. And you know what? Can you guys hear me okay? Hi, guys. Hey. Feel free to get in that chat because we're going to be talking. And we're going to be talking about things that are really important. And I have the time, and I will be taking the time to talk to you about specific things and explain certain things to you and ask the audience direct questions right now. So I need multiple people in the chat. I need multiple people in this chat that are willing to listen to me. I have a first little spiel I got to get through, and then I have direct questions that I have for this amazing audience that is being created over here. Go ahead and click that like button. I need it because we're about to take on some really big, untruthful things that have been happening. We're about to take on, it's David and Goliath over here, baby. It's happening right now. Click the like button. Everybody get in the chat. There's 14 watching. Maybe a few more will show up. I'm not going to feed the audience garbage. And you guys have, if you followed me, even in my last channel and this channel, you know how important the truth is. It's so important that I have in the past, I have purposefully taken excess amount of time to look things up, to create things, whether it be comedy, because that's how Roasted Studios came about, or whether it be serious videos that maybe could change people's lives. Okay. With certain videos that I've created, the serious videos, sometimes I wouldn't upload until I knew I was completely done because I was afraid of not putting in all the information needed that may help somebody that came across the video. So while you have people up here daily, like keeping Mr. Keeping It 100, like you all just heard in his chat, if you were there, they have the freedom to get up every day and speak on chat if they want to every day, or whatever it is, create a video, whatever, because they don't care about feeding you the garbage and the lies. I just took my time. It is late right now, but you're with me, okay? I did take my time to listen to that stream a bit. I didn't join in the chat because I don't feel comfortable, because the fact I was in the chat the other day just got used against me from a lower channel that does comedy on me. Because I asked about the abuse about 20 times when the angry neighbor was over there. That's being used against me. You know, everything will be used against me at the end of the day. So, okay, here's my first spiel. Okay, I need you guys to listen. I'm not asking direct questions as of yet, but I do need your opinion. Your opinion is imperative. It is. So here's my first spiel, okay? Based on what Mr. 100 just said in his chat over there, everything that came out of his mouth regarding what about the abuse and regarding what I'm talking about over here, which is so important enough for me to get on a live stream right now at an off hour. These are the reasons, according to him, and you know he's attached to the angry neighbor, and you know the angry neighbor's attached to Pickle Boy. So here are the reasons that I should not continue the channel, my channel, why hashtag what about the abuse shouldn't exist, why it's not important, and why we shouldn't be talking about it, and why you guys shouldn't care, and why you should listen to him and everything he just told you versus what I'm going to be asking you after I give you this spiel. According to them, I'm doing it for views. Okay? That's according to them. Don't believe anything I'm saying because I'm doing it for views. Okay? Pickle Boy showed his mother naked on camera about 6 times that I've seen having intercourse, showing women and children getting abused and neglected. We're seeing the abuse patterns. We're seeing the scapegoats in the family addicted to drugs and having their life fall to shambles each and every time they get scapegoated. Is it me telling the truth right now as to what's going on? Not even, it doesn't matter who I'm in favor for. Am I telling you the truth right now? Are these things that you've seen, or am I feeding you the garbage? So according to them, I'm doing my channel for views. No one else over there has done their channel for views. And if they have, don't judge them, but judge me and my channel with 800 subscribers and the views that I do get. Judge me. Okay, so I'm doing my channel for views, just so we're all clear on this. Also, he stated I do parodies on people, and I've done parodies in the past. So because I'm a comedian, or I like to write comedy, or I like to express myself through comedy, and I've done parodies in the past, this is what he just said. Because of that, what about the abuse doesn't exist, and everything over here is a lie, and you shouldn't believe it or believe me. Okay, please follow me. You shouldn't believe it because nobody cares. That's another reason that this person just gave. It's not true because nobody cares. So if you are in this chat right now, if you've clicked the like button, he's telling you right now that you don't exist. And your opinion not only doesn't exist, but you don't matter, and what you say doesn't matter, because the majority of the audience doesn't know, and he's going to count on, you're not going to hashtag it up or keep it going. You are going to eat what he just said. Okay, just want to be clear about this. He just said nobody cares, so it doesn't exist, okay? Right? Okay. Also, this person just said that the angry neighbor got struck on her channel. One strike. He wanted you guys to know that, okay? While talking about me, he wants you to know that she got struck. I don't know anything about it. Hopefully YouTube will take it off if it isn't supposed to be there. But let me remind you guys, and I am going to show you proof because I'm not going to feed you garbage and lies. I got about 6 strikes between both my channels about a week ago, and my entire channel went down. The entire channel went down, and Cleanup Guy said, right over here, he came over to Cassandra's Curse channel, and he said, hashtag time's up. You're lucky if you get to keep this channel, which is a threat. And he said he was rolling around on the floor, getting his fleas off of his body because he was laughing so hard. So I just wanted to be very clear right now, okay? Nothing that you're hearing on either of my channels is truthful, because Angry Neighbor got struck. Her channel got struck. Don't worry about the fact that my channels went down already. Don't worry about the fact that I've got 6 strikes between both my channels, and the Cleanup Guy said hashtag time's up, and I'm rolling around on the floor, and he threatened me, and he said, you're lucky if you get to keep your channel. Don't believe it, even though I'm going to show you the proof of it. Don't take that into consideration with my channel and with what I'm saying. The person in the corner wants you to not believe any of this and care that the angry neighbor got a strike. Okay, are we following this? Okay. This person proceeded to say, don't judge my channel or that family because he's been to jail before and you should be forgiving, and he's been to jail. Okay? Just so we're following along here. He proceeded to talk about people in the community, or one person in the community, another person in the community who I don't even follow. And I don't have much respect for either, and I'm not going to name this person. And he proceeded to talk about that person that I have no correlation with whatsoever, and what that person does online. So just so we're being clear here, you can't follow my hashtag or believe anything I'm saying on my channel, not only because I'm doing it for views apparently, and I do parodies, and because someone else's channel got struck, and because you guys don't care, even though you say you do. He says you don't, even though I believe you do. But also because another YouTuber who I have no correlation with has done bad things online. Okay, does this make sense to everybody so far? Making good sense, right? Another reason not to believe me or what I'm saying, which no one's asking you to believe anything. I'm just stating my opinion over here. It's an opinion channel because I want the audience to think for themselves because you guys are intelligent, smart people who deserve nothing less than that. And if you don't believe me, you don't have to listen to me. I encourage you to keep listening to that person or listen to whoever that you want. It's just an opinion. I don't know why they're so bothered with just an opinion, but another reason this person in the corner and Pickle Boy and Angry Neighbor don't want you to believe what I'm saying or even just have an opinion or just even listen to the opinion or validate the difference of opinion is because I associate with other people online that I do associate with. One of those people being Cowpote. And I see him being used against me in this live stream tonight on keeping Mr. Keeping It 100. And I'm going to stick up for Cowpote and myself. I'm not backing down with that. He supported my hashtag. And it doesn't matter what you think about him when he does on vacation or all the dumbass excuses you're going to make up. He's more of a man. Cowpote is more of a man than the person in the corner because Cowpote has given his opinion at the very least about what he thinks about what's on my channel. He doesn't have anybody pulling his strings. He's allowed to say and do whatever he wants on his channels and on his streams and his Spreaker every single day. Not every other day, not just once a month, not just when he has to stick up for people that he's in love with or are friends, like the Angry Neighbor, or people he's dating or whatever. He just has an obligation to himself for being truthful and for saying how he feels and for incorporating entertainment or whatever it may be. And I don't really give a shit what he says in the corner. You won't be using that person against me at the end of the day because I stand next to that person because that person stands for children. So keep using my name synonymously with him. I'm proud of knowing him. I've given that person my phone number. I talk to him and stand up for him for a reason, and hopefully he does talk to me and he shares my videos and reshares them for a reason because he knows the truth. He knows his own personal truth. And he knows I'm not bullshitting over here. But he knows that you are. So he knows that you're going to try to insult him. And not only that, but use him against me. You can't even do it if you tried. I'm proud of him. Okay? And I know there's other people in on YouTube right now that don't get along with him, like Murr and what. I get along with Murr, okay? So I get along with just anybody I can get along with. I'm going to try to get along with. I need support over here. I need your help. You want to talk about manipulation? How about the last 33 minutes on the corner over there? Are you watching the chat? Is everything okay? That's complete and total manipulation, and everyone in the chat knew it, and that's why everyone was calling it out, I guess. I won't have anybody that I respect or am proud of to be used against me, Bishop included. I like Bishop. He's been very forthright and truthful with me. He gives his opinions. If you're against him, then you must be feeling really demasculated and really upset about yourself to be attacking somebody like that. He's a very intelligent person. I suggest you have a conversation with Bishop, Keeping 100, and take those emails that were in the chat and have a conversation with somebody, because that's what I'm willing to do right now, because I want the audience to know exactly what is going on. So follow along with me. You shouldn't believe anything that I'm saying because I listen to Cowpote. Okay? So don't believe anything there. You can't believe anything that I'm saying because my comedy, definitely. I can't disassociate my comedy, apparently, with my serious videos, even though both are just as important to me, and both are valid and extremely important and crucial. Because how can you get through a live stream 33 minutes of the guy in the corner spewing lies and manipulation to you? How can you get through it without maybe having a laugh at the end of the day? Or without maybe hearing something truthful from somebody who really does care about the truth, which is me. Okay? Keeping 100 says you can't believe in my channel. And Pickle Boy says you can't believe in my channel, and the Angry Neighbor, because some random person, I don't even know who he was talking about, has erectile dysfunction, some YouTuber he doesn't like. And then he proceeded to gay bash. And then he said he had a problem with men liking men. Okay, that's the person in the corner. Mr. 100. He said he's going to keep it forthright with you and thorough, 100%. Okay, you can't listen to what I'm saying or believe me or even trust your own opinions because he said nobody cares. Remember? He's talking about you and what you think in your opinion. So basically, he's manipulating you into unthinking what you think in if you believe me or if you believe what's going on in here or if you just disagree with him. Okay, so disagree with me because he doesn't like men who like men and he gay bashes and because random people have erectile dysfunction. I don't know if he's talking about himself. I don't know what he's talking about there. And then you can't believe me because what else did he say? Yes. Oh my gosh, she is? What does she want? Oh, wow. Well, what do they want? What do they need? All right, cool. I don't care. I hear you reading it, but sorry, I just don't care. I care more about what I'm doing right now. And you know what? Isn't it so funny that I'm a woman with 800 subscribers telling how I feel and they are running over here and jumping when I say jump. You get in my chat, lady, and you start caring and you start writing and typing something because you ignored me a couple days ago, didn't you? When I was asking about the abuse about 20 times, didn't you? So you know what? Stick around long enough because I have all the questions that you cannot answer. And I'm going to start asking them every day until somebody does. Guess what? That's called the truth hitting you in your fucking face. It's called karma. Okay, so where was I? Because I'm going to just ignore her like she did me the other day. Just going to completely ignore her and everything she said. And actually, if there is a child in this chat, please send them away right now. I don't want a child in this chat. So let's send him away. Okay, goodbye. Tina, excuse me, can't say your name, can I? How do you know? How do we know that's not her, though? Well, you know what, Angry Neighbor, please get on your own account because I don't feel comfortable with your sabotage methods to include jumping on a child's account, pretending to be a child. Have a backbone, stop using children to do your dirty work, and get on your own account and get over here or get out of here. Either way, start conducting yourself as a woman and as a lady and start addressing the abuse. Start addressing the abuse or don't. But get on your own account right now, like a woman. And if she can't do that, get the account out of here because that's sabotage right now. It is. They're just going to say at the end of the day, oh, that was a kid in there and she's talking down to a child. And you can't even do that at this point. You really can't. Okay, so where was I? What else? Hang on. Give me a second, guys. Give me a second because I'm willing to take the seconds if you are to feed you what's right and to tell you what's going on. Okay? Oh, the person in the corner said you can't believe what I'm talking about and don't listen to the opinion or even watch the channel or take it valid. Here's another reason. He said because 95% of YouTube is abuse. I don't know where you got that percentage. And I don't know why you're talking percentages, but it goes along with your ignorance. And your guesstimations are astounding. They make complete and total sense. Why not just say like 99.9% next time? But anyways, so because he says 95% abuse is of YouTube is abuse, what is he saying there? He's saying, I guess because it's normalized or because it's all spread about, don't bother caring. Because if it's so wildly spread, there's nothing you can do about it. And it doesn't matter, especially if it affects children and women. Because he thinks there's so much of it on YouTube, 95%, he says, wow, that you should just let it ride. Let it be what it is. Well, if I'm the 0.001% or whatever, if I'm 1% shaving off that 95, then that's what it is. And why are you so bothered? It's so funny because he said nobody cares about the abuse, then why are you talking about it? And why are you spending 35 minutes to talk about it? Why are you even opening your mouth about it? And if you are going to do that, then hopefully you're going to answer the questions. Who the amazing people in the audience that are sticking around for these questions, they're going to be able to answer them and ponder them and have an opinion on them. But someone who's a slave to the system and oppression, which is what you tried to say about Bishop, but it's really truthful about the person in the corner. It's really truthful about the angry neighbor. It's really truthful about the cleanup guy and everyone in that monopoly, because 6 months has gone by and they haven't even been able to not only blow the whistle, not only have an opinion, not only be able to agree, they've been attacking a random YouTuber with 800 subscribers. They tell you they don't care, but then they do a 30-minute stream on it. They tell you they don't care, but they make a bunch of monopoly channels that don't talk about my channel, but they talk about each other. That's sad. But it's not just sad. I feel a bit powerful in a way. Because the person in the corner, you're not allowed to have an opinion. You're only allowed to spew 30 minutes of lies and bullshit to people that know you're full of shit and are calling you out on it. Angry neighbor, pickle boy. They see the manipulation. They see the lies. So let's keep going. Let's find some more reasons. Let's go over some more of their reasons for you to not even, they want you to shut your brain off, not have an opinion, just think bad about me and be about your day. Sounds like manipulation to me, but I encourage you to keep watching their channels as well. I mean, they may not want you to think good about me or watch me, but I encourage you guys to watch everybody. Watch whoever you want. And please don't listen to lies at the end of the day or bullshit or believe people that are manipulating you. And don't allow anybody to do that to you because it's abuse. I'm telling you right now, this is the truth. Everything I say is an opinion. It's my opinion. And you don't have to believe any of it. And you could not watch my channel or support me. But you see, I'm not going to just feed lies to you. I will reiterate exactly what happened, and I will tell you why it's wrong, or I don't even have to tell you why it's wrong. You guys see that it doesn't make any sense. But stick around for my important questions. Okay. Oh, he says, how can I be so right about the wrong people? How does that make, what does that make? That doesn't make any sense because that goes against what you're saying. So I guess that's the one truthful statement that he said. How could I be so right about the wrong people? Well, yeah, that is truthful. Okay. Oh, here's something. The person in the corner, and I'm sure Angry Neighbor wants you to believe this as well. How can I talk about somebody or give an opinion about the Angry Neighbor being on Adderall? Where did I come up with that from? And how can I just say that? And mind you, he wants to talk about this or the fact that he thinks that me giving an opinion on this is wrong because he doesn't want you talking about the abuse. But I'm willing to go through and dismantle what he said and why my opinion is valid. And then we can get right back onto the abuse again, because I'm sure that's what we all want to be talking about, because child abuse and domestic violence and abuse against women is really important because we have a lot of women around here that are going to be putting up with that. So here's how I got my opinion. The Angry Neighbor went on a live stream and said she had an excess of it. enough to give to children, which she said she did so they could go to school. You're the hero. Congratulations. You gave a prescription to children that wasn't them, and then you could have killed them. What a wonderful person. Okay, next. This person, Angry Neighbor, has told other YouTubers that she does that specific drug. Okay. Lastly, she exhibits the side effects, common and uncommon, of abusing that drug. That's how I got that opinion. That's how I put that opinion out there. And that's how about 80 other people clicked like and agreed with me regarding that opinion. Now, I don't just shoot out lies to you or opinions that come from nowhere. I tell you exactly where they come from because I have them for a reason. Does the person in the corner or Pickle Boy or anyone in Monopoly or Angry Neighbor, do they explain to you what it means to do things for views and how that family either did or didn't do things for views and how that would directly coincide with why I do the things that I'm doing and why you shouldn't talk about the abuse or believe it because I do things for views but not them? Does he even bother to talk to you about these things? No, because did you hear what I just said? That doesn't make any sense. Nothing he says makes one damn bit of sense. Nothing. Because I do comedy and because I don't just walk around every day of my life, every second of my day of my life, being comedic and laughing and trying to make people laugh because there is a serious side to me as well. Because I do comedy, you can't believe what I'm saying. That's what he just told you in that 30-minute live stream. Does that make sense to anybody? He said, "Oh, man, she did parodies back in the day. She did some parodies. I'm a man. I'm a man. She did parodies, so don't believe it. What about the abuse? Nobody cares. Nobody cares." Well, we know you don't care because you've been to jail for abuse, which means you're going to be battling being an abuser the rest of your life and doing the correct thing the rest of your life. Just like right now. Just like you can't go on a 30-minute live stream and just tell the truth of a situation or give an opinion or explain how it is you think I'm doing things for views, but not that family, and why you want to hold me accountable for doing things for views, but not them. Doesn't make much sense. The person in the corner, I know, is an intelligent person. I think he's been very beat down, has a very low self-esteem. I don't think he always does the right thing. And I don't think he always takes the time to do and say the right thing, to include giving his opinion. You called other people on this YouTube platform slaves, yet you're a slave to the Angry Neighbor because you listen to everything that she says and does. You back her up even when she's wrong. You attack other people for having opinions and lie about them on live streams because you don't have the patience enough to do what I'm doing right now, which is dismantle everything you're saying. And not only that, I will go a step further, and I am going to ask direct questions that the person in the corner, Angry Neighbor, Pickle Boy, anyone in the Monopoly won't answer or can't answer because it's going to tie directly back to real abuse and real abuse patterns and a real abuser and a real abuse roles. The people that have been following the channel who either agree with me or disagree or whatever, even if we have a difference of opinion, some people still see this is an abusive family with abuse roles and an abuse pattern, but they don't want you to talk about it. They don't want you to think about it. They don't want you to push it further because it affects money and a child abuser that's been normalized and pushed down your throat, who abused women on camera, making them cry. But worse than that, the person in the corner and an Angry Neighbor said, what abuse? I don't see what child abuse. Where's the proof of child abuse? Why don't you watch Lights Out? It's child abuse and neglect on camera for profit. Why don't you check out every video on my channel, which you already have, but that's why you're refuting it instead of talking about it, because you don't want other people to believe it. The person in the corner sees the abuse. In my opinion, he knows it's there, he believes it, but because he's an abuser and because he's backing up his girlfriend over there, and because he just gave shout outs while he's like lying about my channel, he gave a shout out to Angry Neighbor and Pickle Boy. I'm sure they really need a shout out coming from your channel with your 400 subscribers. I'm sure they're really appreciative of that. But more than that, they're appreciative that you're not taking the abuse on my channel seriously. And that you have people in that chat who see the abuse that are hashtagging Bosch Nation, outlaw it up. I don't know what that crap is, but it's not that hashtag versus what about the abuse. What about the abuse that's by itself completely, still wondering and hoping for a conversation with no insults. But it will never happen, you guys. You know why? Because in my opinion, it's all real. It's real. It's a little bit too real. It's so real that every video of mine gets a strike. Every Spreaker of mine gets a strike. They already have taken the channel down. They don't want you not only listening or believing anything that I'm saying, they don't want you having an opinion about it and holding Pickle Boy accountable. So I have to be doing all of this for views. It's not the original content that I had intended, which is what I told everybody about 9 months ago on my last channel when I said I was going to have to create a second channel called Devil's Advocate just to be able to get my opinion out there on all of this. And at some point, I told you guys, and if you follow the last channel, you know this is true. If you don't believe it, I'll put the video back up. I told you guys at some point I incorporated the material with my other content, the comedy and the other videos and such. I did like a movie review and things like that. I incorporated it because I didn't want to lose my voice on the second channel. The second channel was going to be just an anonymous channel where I talk about abuse and all this, but I was afraid to even use my voice. And then half the people would probably even listen or care because it's just hidden material. And it's so bad that I feel the need to even hide who I am on camera because of death threats, because of people attacking my character, because of people not wanting me to speak, because people saying horrendous, malicious things and attacking me over just watching and formulating an opinion to be able to think for oneself. I would never want to take that away from any of my subscribers or viewers or people that are clicking like and people that are taking it seriously, because it's a horrendous abuse to manipulate somebody. You need to think for yourself. You need to come to conclusions for yourself. If you don't want to take it seriously, I respect that because that's your opinion and that's your own thought process. And I'm willing to say that. If you do take it seriously, thank you so much, in my opinion, for being truthful with yourself and for not allowing people who have higher channels like the Angry Neighbor and Pickle Boy to oppress you and silence you into thinking for yourself 1 second longer. Don't eat the manipulation. Don't swallow that abuse. Hold them accountable. So are we ready for the questions? Oh, so did all that make sense? That whole spiel I gave about what Angry Neighbor and the person in the corner want you to think and believe about me in order to not think for yourself and have an opinion, whether it be good or bad, about what's on my channel. And if it's bad, you have to think bad about me again. You can't think, no. Don't think about that abuse. What child abuse, he says. Don't look at the flying truck. Don't watch one video with yelling and screaming because that's not abuse, right? Don't believe Roasted when she says the daughter that shaved her head reached out to me. And we DM'd, and she said that Out of the Shadows made her cry, but she deleted the comment because you can't leave it up. But she commented on Web of Deceit because things are a little bit too real now. And she said nothing but lies in her comments and was attacking in an accusatory manner. And I left the comment up. Do you think she deleted it like she did? Oh, that video made me sad. No, she wants it up because she doesn't want you thinking for yourself, thinking it's true or believing it or holding the dad and Pickle Boy accountable for that abuse. I say hold them accountable because the abuse is real and it really, really affected the scapegoats and the people that aren't even scapegoats in that family. She said she talked to me a couple weeks ago. She doesn't know who I am and I made fun of her bald head. I have proof I spoke with her over 9 months ago, and I will be showing it on my channel. But why lie? Why would she lie? What do you guys think? Come up with your own opinion. I don't need to keep telling you everything every 2 seconds. You guys already know. All right, let's get to these questions that I don't think anyone in the Monopoly can answer. The person over in the corner didn't answer. And the angry neighbor certainly doesn't want to be hearing these questions. But they want you to think the abuse is fake. There's no abuse. It's all fake. And remember I said, well, what's fake? Just the incriminating stuff like the abuse? What about the poverty? Because the poverty is clearly not fake. You could see the kids are wearing hand-me-downs and clothes that are too big. You could see Pickle Boy had a bed that was discolored because it'd been used over the years. It's nothing to make fun of. Poverty's serious, and I take it very seriously. So if I see the poverty and I see the abuse, they want you to think that the poverty, I guess, was fake or real, but the abuse is fake. I don't get it, okay? It's all real. And abuse and poverty aren't synonymous with each other necessarily, but in this family, they were. So we're going to start stating things as they are. So on my channel, you see that I intervene. It's just my opinion, okay? On my channel, you see I intervened in the abuse patterns. You see I'm addressing the abuse, calling it out. People that are physically abusing children, mentally, emotionally, there's insults. We see a child abuser. We see the women crying. We see it. Where are my questions? Okay. Okay. Answer these questions. Is this an abusive family with abuse patterns and real abuse roles? I want you to answer that in the chat right now. Tell me yes or no and why you think so, or why you don't think so. Is the family that I'm talking about an abusive family, a real abusive family? A family that's really gone through abuse patterns, and the after effects of it, and the struggles, and we see scapegoating, and we see the effects of it. We see the drug addictions. We see people's lives going to shit, being taken out on stretchers. We see people enabling other people, not getting it. Is there abuse patterns and roles in this family? Yes or no? Why or why not? Go ahead and answer that to yourselves in the chat, please. Okay, I see people saying yes. There's about 30 people watching, guys, right now. We're talking about hashtag what about the abuse. It's of a late hour. I apologize if I'm stuttering. I apologize if I sound tired. I apologize if I sound frustrated. I think you all know why. And I think you all don't care. And I think you all are in the ride with me regardless. And thank you so much. So I'm seeing a lot of people say yes. This is a real abusive family with real abuse patterns and real abuse roles. If you think so, tell me why. What did you see that made you think that? What did you hear that made you think, well, wait, it's not fake. I think that's real. That is a real abusive family. It's not fake. I need your beautiful answers because I'm going to be addressing it on the video because it's really not about what I think anymore. Because according to Tina, according to Pickle Boy, according to the angry neighbor, according to the gentleman in the corner, And I will call you a gentleman because maybe you, at the end of the day, even though I don't believe one thing you're saying, maybe you still are deserving of respect, just as I am. And with respect comes the truth. So I'd appreciate it if you start telling it. Okay, Into Surgery says, look at their lives, education, CPS, drugs. Bree says it's clear it's not fake. I need you to tell me why though, because we got to back it up. According to them, what's the lesser of two evils? What's the Daddy 05 answer? It's all fake. And we have to have this conversation right now because of their manipulation and because I need to prove a point, which is all these questions are going to lead directly back to abuse that they're not addressing. And then they're just going to push more lies and insults towards me, which I don't agree with. But I'm willing to have the conversation because I'm not going to feed you the garbage. Brienne says, yes, just listen to the yelling, their mannerisms, how they react to one another. Oh, yes, thank you very much. A lot of people forget about yelling being abuse, yelling and screaming. It has detrimental effects on children. He wants to put a child on camera and chastise him about not being able to pay attention. Look at in the Lights Out video. That child being around screaming and yelling, being in the dark and the freezing cold, hearing a woman being called a bitch, hearing a woman being told she can't have the meal because she didn't pay the bill to get the lights up. Last time I checked, takes two to tango, honey. It takes two to pay that light bill. You have a wife going to work every single day. You bring her home and you got the pathetic ass son with the camera on her abusing her, and you want me to think that's fake at the end of the day, and you want my audience who's intelligent enough to know it's not fake to swallow that load of crap. Let me hear what the audience is saying. Oh, I got Jay in here. Thank goodness. A man who knows what he's talking about because he has a spine enough to give his own opinion and he has a backbone. I've seen when AGP freaks out, Pickle Boy tends to squirm and back down when he tends to have little freakouts to destroy something. That's how he's venting. Jay, are you saying that you're seeing a hint of fear in Pickle Boy when the dad goes too far? Is that what you're saying? Crystal says AGP is afraid of Charlie. Those kids are afraid of Mike and AGP. There was flinching and reactions to fast movements. Yes, ma'am. Thank you for mentioning that. Seems so minuscule, but so big with the bigger picture, because when you condition someone to be afraid of you because you abuse them so badly, that's the receipt that you leave behind, whether it be them overeating, whether it be them flinching, squirming, giving reactions, fast reactions, them not respecting you. So they laugh at you and poke at you and put a camera on you and show you being abusive and abusing other people to start a channel. You guys want to keep saying that's fake? I think my audience knows better. Hashtag, hey Tina, what about the abuse? They are not actors. Some of them can't be faked. You can clearly see how damaged that family is. Thank you so much for saying that. I really appreciate everybody is saying different things. I have to acknowledge what you're saying right now. Because, and let me get some water, you guys. Let me take a breath. Do I need a breath? How long have we been on for? Oh, goodness. 26 watching, guys. Okay. All right. I wasn't going to go on today, but, you know, maybe the more we speak out, the more will come to light. Because I'm okay doing a 3-hour stream. I don't need to do a 33-minute stream and lie and manipulate to you guys just so I back up a family that I give shout outs to that don't give one shit about me. Okay. That's the person in the corner. Anyways, hashtag what about the abuse says they're not actors. Now, listen to this. That's very important that you said that. This family's not actors. Do you know why? When they go with the lesser of two evils and say it's all fake, when they get to the push to the point where they have to eventually probably say that, people that are going to believe that, or people that are going to be made to believe that, are going to be looking at this family in a whole different light. Oh my gosh. Look how good their acting skills are. Look, they can cry on cue. Their acting is so flawless. This is a conversation you could walk by and think it's absolutely real. They're Meryl Streep. The aunt, that the disabled aunt, was a Meryl Streep. The dad's Al Pacino. Pickle Boy's Robert De Niro. Princess, she's a Charlize Theron. She's a Kate Winslet. No. I'm so sorry to tell you. And what about the abuse? Hashtag what about the abuse? Thank you for bringing up they're not actors. They're not professional actors. If they're being made to think it's fake and people are telling you it's fake, that's what they're going to want you to think. That Pickle Boy is this amazing scriptwriter who just came up with this amazing abusive character who got away with abusing everybody. And it's so real but it's fake because they're such good performers. I have to tell you what's really going on. They cry so much. Princess, Pickle Boy, AGP when he was still alive and here with us. Because they've been hurt. Because they've been hurt deep down. Forever. Thrown in abuse patterns unwillingly. Forced into being scapegoated. Forced into having their lives ruined. To the point where Pickle Boy doesn't even know right from wrong. He doesn't know what respecting women is, or the fact that when he gets them up on the camera and tells a child over and over and over again, why aren't you respecting a woman, and hovers over him and with intimidation, he doesn't realize that he's become the abuser now. And he's pawning off his own insecurities from his abuse onto this child to manipulate an audience into thinking he's a good person and wanting you to think there is no abuse here. There's just constructive criticisms and punishments, but it's not true. This is a family that comes from a lot of poverty, a lot of abuse, a lot of neglect. And I wish to death that they were these amazing actors that weren't crying from their own childhood traumas, that are unresolved because they're blinded to the fact that abuse is a real thing and it's actually really, really bad. And it could really mess up your life forever. And it's not normal or a good thing or ethical or moral at the end of the day to film it, to pull your family out of poverty, only to say, look at what I did. Look at the money. Okay, no, forget about the tears. Forget about the abuse. The person over there who's talking about it, we're going to sabotage her at the end of the day. She's just doing it for views. She does comedy, so she's roasting us. And because she does comedy, she can't be serious, and you can't take her serious. And no, you guys. There was a point where I thought maybe they took an acting class. Maybe they were just professionals. Maybe it was just manipulation and normalization. Maybe it's real because the daughter reached out to me and told me it was real. And that's how I know it's real. Maybe that's why I feel more passionately about it than the next person, because the daughter from this family who just shaved her head because she's mentally ill from her abuse and from being stuck in abuse and from being stuck being scapegoated and being humiliated on camera right along with her children, her beautiful children. She not only didn't know what abuse was, sadly, but she acknowledged to me that she had been through it. And I validate her abuse perspective, even though she's not allowed to talk about it now, not allowed to talk good about me now, only allowed to lie and sabotage about me now. She's not allowed to talk about it or address it, but I validate her perspective and listen to how truthful her perspective is. Living in that abusive household where all the children abused, whether it be hitting, verbal assaults, hearing, yelling, being yelled at, scrutinized. In my opinion, yes, absolutely, of course. Look, it's affected all of them, even the sexual abuse, right? So if it's affected them so terribly, this truthful abuse, the scapegoated daughter who reached out to me, what's her perspective going to be? Well, if she's been scapegoated and the brother, and they've both been scapegoated into poor relationships and doing drugs and going to jail, and they fit the definition to scapegoat to the T. What's her perspective going to be? It's just the one she told me. She said Pickle Boy and the other sister didn't get abused. What does that mean? Well, that means she feels in her heart her and the other brother were, because they were scapegoated and probably abused more, in my opinion, and scapegoated more because they're the scapegoats. So that turned their life upside down. They're going to struggle forever. But it doesn't have to be that way. If they acknowledge what's going on and they seek help, which I advise for everybody in that family, so they can strengthen the family, like the DSS call. So they're not professional actors. They just get on camera, lie, manipulate, and show you their pain. But they don't acknowledge the pain or where it's coming from. Just like Pickle Boy, or the sister that shaved her head. Wanted to use her for an episode, exploit her, but didn't want to tell the audience why she did that or what's going on. Doesn't want to address the abuse directly or how it affects people in that family directly. We have to see abuse stories, childhood abuse stories, with people laughing in them and trivializing them, like the daughter. The person in the corner wants to say, what abuse? I don't know. How about the sister getting on camera saying she was abused and neglected as a child? If you think it's fake, tell us why. Sorry, yes. Oh, what's her comment, boo-boo? I don't see her comment. Okay, just so you guys know, this live stream, I may be coming in and out because I'm still learning how to live stream and I'm still learning how to control the chat. So it's not going to be perfect. I'm imperfect. I am not perfect, just like everybody else. And when you own it, I think you just start loving yourself a little bit more. So let me find out what she's saying. Why don't you read it? Just tell me loudly so I can repeat it. They set the scenarios up to aggravate the mental illnesses that some of the family has. Mike has goaded AGP to make him freak out and to make him do things. Now, thank you very much for saying that. Let me explain what I think's going on there, because I agree with you, but it wasn't just that the whole time, right? I'm sure you would agree with that, but that's important because that's where it all started, right? Now listen to this. That old Christmas video that was originally on break.com, where the daughter's on the floor crying and the dad comes in and he's yelling because he's late for Christmas, and everyone opened it and people start yelling and screaming and there's kids there. Just an opinion, but the acting in that video, because at some point we got to act to get that reaction from poking that mentally ill person, right? But it's not just mentally ill person. He's not just mentally ill, because I haven't seen him be mentally ill. He's abusive. The old man's abusive. They're not poking him in the beginning, the very beginning, in those early videos, 2007, 8. They're not poking him because he's mentally ill. They're poking him because he hasn't got control on his abuse and on being an abuser and being abusive. Because remember, mental illness and being abusive don't go hand in hand. He may be irritated from being mentally ill. I don't know. He might be irritated from being a drug addict, which, don't forget, alcohol is drugs. And the daughter said in her abuse story, he was an alcoholic. I've heard before he's abused pills. Could he be aggravated and acting out because of those reasons? It just has to be because he's mentally ill. They're using the mental illness at the end of the day to justify his behaviors, but I'm willing to explain that because you don't want to agitate anybody or act out abusive towards anybody and think that either's okay. So in that first Christmas video that was on break.com, where the apartment looks pretty white in there, it's painted white and the daughter's crying on the floor. It's pretty clear to me the dad doesn't really know what's going on. He thinks he's going to come see Christmas and everyone's telling him, oh, sorry, you're late. And then we see the daughter on the floor and we see Pickle Boy directing her. He says, oh, why are you crying? He's saying that because she wasn't crying and she wasn't pretending. So what did she do at that moment? She turned her head right away because she's laughing a little bit too much, not taking the scene seriously. And how can you take setting up domestic violence in front of children for views and money? Another thing that gives it away is the gentleman she's either dating or married to in that video is smiling. And you can pause it and see it. He's smiling. A big smile. Because to Pickle Boy and to this gentleman and even the sister, making domestic violence and showing it, and I'm so sorry. They're making you think it's okay. And it was okay to start channels. Now, based on certain episodes, you may be like, oh, that wasn't right. They did that to the dad. Even though the dad's the abuser, the abuse goes both ways, right? They're kind of being abusive towards him there. And they're being abusive, most importantly, to those children right there in that room who don't want this domestic violence set up, fake or not, going on. They want some normalcy on Christmas. They want to remember Christmas as having been a fun, good thing and not something that Grandpa ruined. Not something that Pickle Boy and everyone else, including the old man, had to ruin to start a show to get money. That's part of the taking the family with them to pull them out of poverty. That was part of it. That's how it works. That's how exploitation works. You have to use other people. So, okay, so we have that video, that Christmas video, right? Now, in my opinion, the next video that we see is Pickle Boy and that same gentleman who was dating the daughter. They go to the father and let the dad know that not only did they put that video on break.com, not only was that a setup of fake domestic violence to disrupt the livelihood and normalcy and peacefulness that the children are trying to have so they could grow up and not have all these problems. In this particular video, they tell the dad that the video went viral. And I will be using this video if you guys don't know about it so you could see it. The dad gets angry. He's an abuser, so he's really, really angry. He doesn't want that happening. He didn't even want the setup happening on Christmas. So he gets mad, he starts yelling, and he throws coffee on Pickle Boy. Pickle Boy falls and is yelling, and the dad goes to his room and shuts the door. And this is one of the first times and only times, I don't know if this has happened before, Pickle Boy is legitimately mad because the dad just abused him on camera. And Pickle Boy thought this was a great thing. I'm getting us out of poverty. And the dad's an abuser. He doesn't realize, I can't wrangle my dad who's an abuser. He doesn't care about abusing people on camera and about being an abuser or abusing children. He's done it my whole life. So Pickle Boy gets really upset and he goes to the dad's room. He opens the door. And what did he say to him? Do you remember? he was saying he was yelling and screaming. He said he was gonna move out, and I think he cursed at the dad. I think he even called him a fat ass, and he was mad. He was legitimately angry. So let's just reiterate this scenario. Because Pickle Boy has no respect for anybody and he thinks abusing people's funny, and because the dad has no respect and he doesn't mind abusing people, and because Pickle Boy doesn't mind trying to abuse people on camera to get money and start a show for profit, and setting up the father in this way, only for the boyfriend in that video to say, "Oh, it's just his bipolar shit, not as abusive shit, just bipolar shit." There's abuse there, right? We see Michael being abusive and the family, then we see the old man being abusive in return, and the kids suffering in that video, not knowing what the hell's going on, pretending to not hear what's going on, pretending to not be aware of the abuse because they're right there in the middle of it. Isn't that sad? Take us to our next scene with Pickle Boy and that guy going over to the dad and being so oblivious to the fact that doing that was wrong that they tell the dad the video went viral. Isn't this great? And the dad gets legitimately mad. He doesn't want this. Yelling, cursing, throws the coffee on Pickle Boy, runs to his room, slams the door. Pickle Boy goes right after him, yelling, cursing, insulting the dad because Pickle Boy doesn't respect the dad. Hard to have respect for your abuser as a grown man who's being abused on camera, having coffee thrown on you when you think you're doing such a big, wonderful thing. So we have abusers abusing people, making setups of domestic violence on camera for money in the very beginning. Okay, you can also see it in my fake or real video with the very first episode that we take a look at, where the old man's sleeping and Pickle Boy plays that loud music and the dad's like woken up. He doesn't know what the hell's going on. And he knocks over the thing in the kitchen and he's yelling and screaming. And we hear the kids in the background trying to be children. And at this point, it doesn't even matter what's fake and what's real. What matters is your opinion and what you're thinking about what's going on and what you're thinking about this. Is it right or wrong? Do they want you hating me and not believing it? Or no? Did they take down my channel and are harassing me and talking about me and lying about me or not? It's not a magic trick. It's not a movie. It's not acting. It's not acting. This is very real. Okay. So that's some of those videos, okay, that Crystal was talking about. Now, go ahead and click the like button for me, guys. There's 27 watching. Okay. So we have Pickle Boy doing purposeful setups in the beginning to show the dad being abusive on camera. And what did he even say himself in one interview? Pickle Boy says he picked up that camera to show the dad being an abuser. Well, that's actually manipulation because you're blaming everything on the dad at that point when you're being manipulative to show his abuse patterns and uploading for money. Are you not? So Pickle Boy will even lie about the dad to get what he wants and needs. He doesn't care. He doesn't have any respect for anybody. So in my flying truck video, when we see the old man throwing trash on the child, throwing toys directly on his body, bouncing off, we see cursing and yelling and insults to include homophobic remarks. What is that? Oh, well, that's the old man being himself on camera because he didn't care about abusing people. And that's Pickle Boy filming it because that's what he wanted all along. Don't even have to do a setup at that point. Don't have to push buttons at that point. You just watch a person being who they are, being a big abuser on Christmas towards children. Making it seem like to an audience it's bad to be gay when it's not. Doesn't change who you are at all. You could be a good person, a bad person. It's your choices that make who you are. And just being yourself and loving who you want or rocking whatever skin pigmentation you got, that's ignorant if you're going to go and judge someone about that. and pushing that on a show where, gosh, hundreds of thousands of people see that garbage and believe it or think it's funny or think it's okay. I don't care if I'm the only person with everyone in my chat, all these beautiful people in my chat. We will say that's wrong because it is wrong. And even if it's just 1% versus what the guy in the corner wants you to think, oh, 95% abuse, just let it be, let it be. No, we'll talk about it till it gets shaved down. Even if it's just 1%, isn't that one child less that's not being abused? If you point out abuse patterns, is that going to help the family at the end of the day? Of course it is. And is it just for this family? No, it's for anybody who's getting anything out of it. It's weird to me. It's like YouTube's a big hotel and there's all these different rooms or these channels, if you will. And you go to the one that you like and you watch it and you support it. And I have people that come over here every day and try to talk me out of the content that I'm creating. Or they tell me why they think it's bad. Or they don't address it but don't tell me why. Or they insult my character. Or they just try to rip the channel down altogether without ever having spoken to me, the cleanup guy. Or they tell me I'm lucky that they don't insult me, which is what one woman told me. Or another woman told me that the kids were asking for the drugs, and we all know how kids are, so don't blame the sons or anyone that didn't know to protect the kids or that didn't protect the kids, even though they knew the abuse was going to happen. Don't judge them. And they try to talk me out of my content. They literally try to talk me out of it. You're obsessed, you're vindictive, you got this wrong with you, that wrong with you. I think I'm awesome. I've been told I'm a badass bitch, and I believe it. A lot of people can't handle this. There's a lot going on over here. And just all those excuses of people trying to push their drama on me. You know, oh, you're their family member, or oh, you're doing it for this reason or that reason. I guess that has become their content. That's become what's more worthy for them to talk about versus just having a conversation or opinion over here. Michael Fairfax didn't agree with me every bit of the way. The guy had a conversation with me. Thank you, Michael Fairfax. TJ Horner, I think was a supporter or is a supporter of that family. He had a conversation with me for a long time. I'm so appreciative of that because I got to see what he was thinking and he got to see what I was thinking. And with that, we can come to a conclusion. But we can't if people are just straight insulting people or manipulating you and abusing you and lying to you. But if that's their content, you're going to know drastically the difference. Can you guys understand the person in the corner or what he's talking about? And is what he's saying, does it sound valid and real? Does it sound like real information or does it sound like bullshit to you compared to what I'm saying over here and like how I explain things to you and what I'm trying to point out? And even the fact I tell you, you got to go with how you feel at the end of the day. But let's talk about these inconsistencies that lead directly back to an abusive family, right? So, okay, I only asked the first question. How long have we been streaming? Oh gosh, guys. You guys put one in the chat if you like this stream and if you understand what I'm saying and if you're getting something out of this and if you feel your intelligence isn't being insulted. I'm not forcing my opinion upon you guys. You're able to chat with each other and say however you feel. More things may be pointed out to you, and there's more examples being given on this channel versus that 30-minute stream you just heard over at the person in the corner. Go ahead and put a 1 in the chat if you like the stream, if you're following along, and if I'm making sense, because believe me, I'll be the first person to tell you. I could talk in circles, I could ramble, I could jump from here to there. I want to make sure. Thank you. I got all 1s, baby. Woo. Okay, thank you. Okay, I feel like I may be rambling, but good. So that was the first question. Is this an abusive family with abuse patterns and real abuse roles? Everyone in this chat thinks so. And mind you, where's all the people that think otherwise, right? Where are all these people that insult me every day that say I'm wrong? Where's the person in the corner? 27 watching. How many are in this chat? Is there about 27 in the chat? Sounds like we might have some people watching who aren't talking. What are they so afraid about? 9 in the chat, you guys. Wow, about 20 people watching, not saying a word. Because are they taking notes? Are they going to get on a live stream and address everything I'm saying in here, even though I just did about the last stream, did I not? I addressed everything he said and didn't say. And watch tomorrow or any live stream of this monopoly. They're pretty, it's getting pretty sad. Watch them continue with the deflection, the insults, the character attacks, manipulating you as the audience, telling you literally how you feel. The person in the corner tonight just told you guys how you feel about my content. How do you feel about being manipulated in that manner? He told everybody that you don't care. Why did he say that? Because he doesn't want you to care. When he knows that you do. And instead of addressing anything that I say, he's going to continue to lie and manipulate to you. How do you feel about that? Hashtag Boss Up Nation. Or what is it? What are they about with it? Outlaw Nation my ass. I'm the outlaw, bitch. The outlaw is the one that takes care of the children. The outlaw is the one that takes care of the kids and the women and takes a stand for them. Guardians of the children, baby. Outlaws, outlaw nation my ass. There's nothing bad about you other than being a parent if you back up abuse. Or if you put women, or if you end up in jail because you abuse women, person in the corner. You got women hashtagging, yeah, Briggs Outlaw Nation to the animal in the corner who put women in the hospital for beating them up. You're real outlaw. You're real cool. You're a real bag of shit. You have no spine. The guy can't even give an opinion. He talks uncoherent. You can't even he doesn't make any sense. He's incoherent for 30 minutes. Oh, I rock with this person. Shout out to Pick a Boy, even though he never mentions me and talks to me. Shout out to Angry Neighbor, even though she's not in the chat because everyone's owning my ass. Shout out to anyone who sticks up for anybody but Roaster Studios because she isn't telling the truth because she does parodies well. That makes a lot of fucking sense, you animal. Makes a lot of sense. But what I really love is him telling you, the audience, how you feel personally. He says that you don't care about anything that I'm talking about. And they're really hoping that you don't care. And if you do, they're hoping you come over and just harass me. But remember I said, it's like a hotel. Go to the room that you like and enjoy. Why is everyone so worried about mine? Oh, I don't know, because it's the truth. And the truth hurts. But the truth is going to set children free, then women free, the men that have been abused for profit. It sets everybody free. Oh, but it may affect the gravy train. So I'm going to get on a live stream for 30 minutes and talk about things that I don't even understand and hope that everyone in the chat, everyone listening, watching, even the women will believe the garbage. I would respect the Angry Neighbor and Pickle Boy and the person in the corner and even cleanup person. I have no respect for cleanup. I have no respect for these people. But if I had respect, I would have respect if they just addressed it or just gave an opinion or just said, no, I don't agree, but I don't even watch it. I'm not even going to bother with it. And then do their own content. But everything I said is not happening, is it? My channel got ripped down for no reason. And because they can't rip it down, They just want you to think bad things about me versus having the conversation I'm willing to have with you. Give me a second, guys. I want to get some water here. Am I making sense here? It sounds like I'm making sense to me. Ah, Charles 5.0. I've heard about you, but I don't know you. So let me give you a chance. He says, yeah, I'm watching you. Why don't you lay off of the angry neighbor and the sister who shaved her head and ask about the brother? Ask the brother, the brother whose channel got taken down. Ask about that abuse. Yeah, I'm outlaw. Okay, cool. Okay. Charles 5.0, are you well aware that I called that brother out a year ago? I'm a year ahead of you, baby. No offense. Charles 5.0, are you well aware of that? That I called that brother out and got harassed by that brother and all his friends and subscribers over a year ago. Are you aware of that, yes or no? Are you aware that we're on to the next thing? I've addressed him. I addressed his poor behaviors. I got abused and attacked by Charlie's Angels all over the place for doing so. People that even told me he wasn't on drugs. I don't know what I'm talking about when I was calling him out all the time. Okay. So if you're going to be outlaw enough to have your brain work in different ways. And what am I saying? What I'm saying is if you have breath enough to know and say that that brother was scapegoated, abused, and abused children and abused other people, and now is getting scapegoated over and over and over again. So we'll talk about what you want me to talk about, which is that brother versus holding Pickle Boy and everyone else accountable. Then you have to be willing to acknowledge Charles 5.0, that brother, the scapegoat, who's can't control his behavior because of his PTSD and his childhood abuse, was abused himself. Charles 5.0, where are you at? Address it. Bring it up right now. Let me see how outlaw you are, because I bet you I'm more outlaw than you. Can you answer to anything I just said? The sister's fine, and the angry neighbor, but the old man's gone. You need to ask the brother who lost his channel about the abuse. So you guys see, do we see it? Do we see what's going on here? This person, this individual, I'm very sorry to say you don't get it, and you didn't address anything I just said. So I'll wait till you address it. I'll wait till you address it. Charles 5.0, you're scapegoating one person out of the family when everyone in that family has been abused or is abusive. Charles 5.0, do you see Pickle Boy pushing a child down and putting his foot on a child? Do you see the old man throwing toys on a child, calling him queer? Do you see women crying? Do you believe me when I tell you the sister reached out to me saying she was abused? Do you believe me, Charles 5.0? What is outlaw? Because there shouldn't be hashtag outlaw versus hashtag abuse. There isn't. There. Do you see what's going on here? They want you to support and think and believe anything else other than this. Okay, Charles 5.0. But the kids are fine now. There is nothing going on with the grand. So you're still not addressing anything. You're still not addressing anything. Was everything fine when I made welfare checks, Charles 5.0? Can you answer that? The cleanup guy said the dad got abused. Pickle Boy said the kids got abused. So Charles 5.0, can you answer me that? Did the kids get abused in the summer or not? Tell me right now what you think. There's, in my opinion, there's abuse patterns in the family. You can't have someone who has such anger and rage from their PTSD, from their childhood abuse, the brother that you're speaking about, you can't have him being addicted to drugs, covering up his childhood trauma and possible mental illness. You can't have that person around a child. That's why I called and made welfare checks. And you can't have that person around an elderly person who can't protect themselves. And you can't have that elderly person who's the guardian of the children around the children because he neglects them and abuses them because he can't protect them or themselves. And the sister can't help out because her abuse role has affected her so poorly that she's not the guardian of her own children at that point because the abuse has affected her so poorly. Charles 5.0 Outlaw, where are you at? What's that? What's that link? Where are you at, Charles? I feel like I'm saying a lot more in comparison to what you're saying. And I feel like I'm addressing everything you're bringing up, and you have yet to address one thing that I'm saying. Into surgery, I have no idea. I really don't know. I'm too busy trying to find out everyone's opinion on the abuse while trying to keep my channel up long enough for people to formulate an opinion. So I really don't know. So Charles 5.0 or 0.5, I'm waiting. The abuse that happened in the summer that Pickle Boy said that happened to the kids, and the kids said that happened to themselves. Are they memorizing lines over there, Charles? Is that your opinion? They're memorizing abuse and faking domestic violence and abuse, or the kids got abused? So while 0.5 Charles, okay. Only thing I'm saying, just lay off Angry Neighbor and everyone else. Okay, Charles 0.5, thank you for proving my point. Thank you for proving my point that there's such questions that I will be asking that I haven't even gotten to yet. I haven't even gotten to my questions yet. Thank you for proving my point that not only is there abuse, there's abuse that people won't address. There's abuse that can be addressed that can help other people by recognizing abuse patterns. But there's fans and subscribers and outlaws and big badasses such as yourself that refuse to address any of it because you just want me to lay off the Angry Neighbor for what and why and what's going to happen if I don't. Because I promise you tomorrow I will be up on here again. I just decided right now. I will be either doing a video or probably another live stream maybe. Let's just do another live stream. So Charles 0.5 wants me to leave everyone alone because of what I just said and because it's a little too real, but you're not giving me a reason as to what. And what do you mean leave people alone? Do you understand I'm over here with my own content and channel and they can leave me alone and they're harassing me? Does everybody see that? Yes or no? Can we go to whatever channel we want? Are we allowed to, am I allowed to go to Angry Neighbor and silence her and say, hey, lay off that person. Do this, do that, do what I want. No, you're not, you can do it, you can say it, but nobody's going to take you seriously. Nobody cares about what you're saying to shut me up. Nobody cares about how outlawed you are when you're just being complicit and silencing with child abuse. You're basically working for free over there. You're trying to protect those people when nobody ever asked you to. You don't need to protect them. Why do they need protection? Are my videos that truth-telling? Is it just a little bit too real over here? Charles 0.5, I've been talking to you for about 10 minutes and you still have yet to address anything that I've said. Still waiting. If I stayed on live stream about 5 more hours with Charles 0.5 ignoring me, would everybody see the point and see what's going on? Would everybody see it? Charles 0.5, do you think the abuse that was on the in the summertime that happened towards the kids was real or not? The abuse that I knew was going to happen because the children were living with 2 child abusers. Yes, and failing to listen to welfare checks, failing to observe abuse patterns, failing to get someone out of the house who's on drugs and who's volatile and can't control his anger because he learned it from his dad because of his abuse, that's neglect and that is abuse. Charles 0.5. Off with your head. You can't even address if you think the abuse in the summer is real or not. Charles 0.5, still talking to you. I still see you're ignoring me because the truth is a little bit too real, isn't it? Charles 0.5, do you think the abuse that Pickle Boy said happened on his channel in the summertime with the kids that said they got abused and were given drugs and alcohol, do you think that's real or not? You want me to hold the son who did it accountable, but you don't want me to hold the people accountable who could have prevented it from happening? Do you see how you make no sense, Charles 0.5? Do you see that it's not acceptable to say that you can't prevent child abuse and scapegoat the child abuser that did it for profit on a show to millions when you normalize the child abusers to begin with for profit? Charles 0.5 says, nobody cares, we need to get a life. Speaks volumes. Everyone in the chat, if you understand what just happened with Charles 0.5, if you see the deflection, if you see that the deflection leads to the truth and the fact that there is real abuse, put a 1 right now in the chat, baby. Let me see it. Put the 1 in the chat. If you see Charles 0.5 deflecting for about 10-15 minutes with direct questions that lead directly back to this abuse. Skylar White showing support. What about the abuse? Thank you, baby. Bree, 1. Lita, 1. Street Chemist, 1. Skylar, 1. Rise Up, 1. Sparky, 1. Charles 0.5, you're out of your league. You found somebody who doesn't mind taking the heat for saying the truth. And it points out you're wrong, unfortunately. I'll wait all day. Michael Fairfax, 1. Yeah, baby. There we go. Now, that's someone who doesn't necessarily agree with everything, but he agrees right now because he knows the truth. We're not children here. We don't want to be fed a load of garbage. Charles 0.5, the children in the summertime and Pickle Boy said on his channel they got abused by the brother you're talking about. Was it real or not? I'll ask 20 more times. Autumn Loving, hashtag what about the abuse? Yes, go. Who said that? Said what? What happened? Hang on, I got to scroll up. Ooh, I'm missing it. What did it say? Into surgery says Into surgery says Pickle Boy knew the abuse was going on. Him and his girlfriend were too afraid that they would end up taking him in. Oh, you mean with the brother? Well, they enabled him, and they got abused for doing so, and they allowed children to get abused for doing so, basically. Where? No, I don't. Sparky, I have to tell you, I don't know if you followed along with my Spreaker where I'm addressing the monopoly. The person you're talking about right in there is a scapegoat. And I don't want to talk about her. No offense. It's not about her. And I don't even know who she is. And she's not more important than this. So we got to move on from that. So, Sparky, please listen to me. Please listen to this. They have yet to address abuse from 40 years ago, 30 years ago, that happened to the children in that family, and then the new abuse patterns. I can't fall victim to angry neighbors' distractions, which is things that she says with that lady directly. The things that you're talking about have already been refuted in a Spreaker that I already talked about. That's a distraction channel, and you're falling victim to the distraction. And if you think it's that important, take it to the person in the corner who cares about children so much that he doesn't want you to believe anything that I'm talking about over here. It's really pretty awful. But I have to move on to my next question. Our first question was, is this an abusive family with abuse patterns and abuse roles? We said yes. So what does that dismantle? Well, it dismantles every time they tell you it's fake. They want you to think it's not an abusive family that abuses each other, exploits each other. No. Okay. So here's my next question. Charles 0.5 actually refused to answer this. That's how outlaw he is. It's very, very outlaw. Outlawing against reason and theory and logic and truthfulness. You're a real badass. Here's a question for the people in the chat. Did everyone believe the brother abused the kids? When they mentioned it in the summertime, did the whole audience, did we believe that the kids got abused? And that Bridget got abused and that the dad got abused, just like they said, and that the brother had this drug meltdown and the police had to come and be taken out in a stretcher. Did everyone believe it when it happened? And do you believe it now? And were you made to believe it then? Yes or no? Please answer that in the chat. I need you guys to stick with what I'm saying in the chat. Not the deflection stories, not these fake stories. Listen to me. Brianne, that's not what I asked. And I really, really need your opinion because you could get it spot on right now for me. The abuse that they mentioned on Pickle Boy's channel last summer that happened to the kids. At that time, did everybody hate the brother that abused the kids? And did everybody believe that that abuse happened to the dad, to Bridget, and to the children? Yes or no? Rise up. Yes, absolutely yes. Lita, yes. Well, yes, because we were there, right? Did you guys all watch that episode in the summer? Do we remember we all hated that brother, and we still should for abusing kids? Did you even apologize to the children? Yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So if we all believed it, and we were all made to believe it, explain, Charles 0.5, and anyone who disagrees, explain how it was faked and explain how it was staged and why it was staged for profit. And let me know, did the kids memorize abuse lines? Charles 0.5, where'd you go? Charles, outlaw, where's the outlaw? We got about 30 watching. I'm not going to move on from this question until somebody answers it. And if we think it's real, which to me, yeah, very real, it's real. The person that thinks it's fake, which is Charles 0.5, you have to explain right now why you think it's okay to exploit children and to get them on camera and prance them right up on camera and explain why they've been abused, or in your case, you think they've been memorizing abuse lines, and why you scapegoat one family member whom you said, wasn't on drugs and didn't abuse the kids? I'm kind of confused. Charles 0.5, where'd you go? The one kid seemed hesitant to mention his name. The brother was abused and scapegoated. So, Crystal, you think it was real, right? It's real abuse patterns, real abusive family, a family that really doesn't know that abuse prevention occurs when you stop neglecting the kids and you take a stand for them and make the DSS calls and make the welfare checks and take the welfare checks seriously and get the abuser out of the house. Charles 0.5, still waiting, about 20 minutes, and you haven't answered anything I'm asking over here. Hello? Oh, did he leave? Oh, isn't that so interesting? Okay, so that's a direct question. Everyone believed that abuse was real. Pickle Boy wanted you to believe the kids got abused by that brother, right? But all of a sudden now it's fake. Oh my gosh. So if it's fake, then the kids fake their lines and all that. No, that's called backpedaling exposed child abuse, and exposed child neglect. And I haven't heard anyone tell me anything otherwise. Really. I haven't heard anyone say anything otherwise. Just so you know. Just so you know. So that's a Daddy-O-5 situation that I've been talking about on my channel. It's a lesser of two evils. Is this abuse that you guys could have prevented and you're exploiting the kids on camera for, that you said was real, everyone believed was real? Is it real, or are you backpedaling now and saying it's fake? And if so, what do we think about faking child abuse and neglect on camera for profit? And what do we think about them trying to manipulate you into thinking they're not a real abusive family with real abuse patterns, who scapegoat and who exploit people on camera for profit so they can make themselves look good, right? Let's just make that brother abuse the kids look terrible and address none of the behavior. No, you all look bad. You all have made yourself look bad because you don't abuse kids and you don't neglect them, and you don't abuse and neglect and manipulate the audience by not addressing their questions. 0.5. So does everybody see that the abuse in the summer that Pickle Boy said happened, and the kids said that happened, and the dad even said that happened, and Bridget and the princess said that happened, and even the angry neighbor said that happened? Okay, this abuse that happened, they don't want you to think it's real anymore because it makes them look bad, because they allowed child abuse to happen and occur. Pickle Boy owned a prefab, and he didn't protect the dad and the kids, and the dad's not protecting the kids, and he didn't get the brother out of the house. He just shouted out his channel with abuse stories, his own abuse story, Pickle Boy's own abuse stories. Just shouted out. And the brother was acting horrendous online, and they just allowed it to happen. They allowed this abuse to happen. But what's more important is the person in the corner who's manipulating and lying to you, the angry neighbor who's manipulating and lying to you, Pickle Boy who manipulates and lies to you guys every day. If they want you to think it's fake, they don't want you to hold them accountable for it being faked, which it's not faked. Which means they don't want you thinking further and being like, oh, well, this lesser of two evils they're trying to go with, it doesn't look good. It's Daddy-O-5. It doesn't look good. You're having the kids memorize abuse lines and talk about abuse, and no one will address that. They don't want to. No one in the monopoly will address if it's real or fake, because both makes them look bad, both's incriminating. So what do they fill their seconds with? I fill my seconds with explaining every fucking thing to you guys. Okay, down to the nitty gritty. What do they do? Well, here, who's this? Oh, she's doing it. Huh? She's fake. And that guy is a gay man, and he likes gay and erectile dysfunction. Don't think about me. It's not real. She does parodies. That's the person in the corner. That's what he's feeding you instead of addressing anything I'm saying. You guys realize that every time you go over there, right? Click like or watch. That's all he's got, right? What does the angry neighbor have? Well, she has scapegoating another channel, the daily vlogs person. She just talks directly with that channel, insults directly to that channel. Anytime angry neighbor does address me, because I've been up here for over 6 months and she hasn't said anything, but anytime she does address me on her channel, she just insults me. So she decides to fill her seconds with you guys hearing insults about me, or hearing lies and manipulation, or hearing another channel get scapegoated, versus hearing what I'm talking about. When this is more important, is it not? But that's her master deflection, manipulation way of getting on camera every single day and just saying things that don't mean anything or that aren't truthful. Isn't that sad? Okay, here's another direct question for the people in my chat. Okay, I need the people in my chat. Another direct question for you guys. Are the daughter who shaved her head and her children, or sorry, the daughter that shaved her head, her story of childhood abuse that you see on my channel, where she was trying to escape neglect, but got scapegoated right back into being abused and thinking she was nothing for trying to escape abuse and neglect. You just get pushed right back down. Is her childhood story of abuse real? It's a direct question to the people in the chat. Is her childhood abuse story real? The story that she said, where the old man was an alcoholic and he abused her. Such severe abuse that maybe he could have ended up in jail if somebody did call and care. Abuse that maybe would have gotten his kids taken away from him, because you can't neglect your kids in the winter and you can't abuse them for trying to escape neglect and abuse patterns. Ah, everyone's saying yes. Where's Charles 0.5? Oh, it's so weird. It's completely gone. Okay, so if we believe her story's real, and they don't want you to think that the old man's a child abuser, would there be any reason for her to even make that story up? Is she opening up to us there and telling us the real story, just like everyone in the chat says, yes, she is? Or does it make more sense to go with what the angry neighbor and the person in the corner, a pickle boy, want you to think at the end of the day, which is she's not credible, she's a liar, you can't respect her, let's just scapegoat her some more, and she just made up a story that was a memory with such detail for no reason. Do you guys believe that or not? Is that fake? Is that a fake story? And if so, why would she even make it up? Or does it go directly with this family and with the abuse patterns? Into surgery. That's the exact story I'm talking about. Remember the story about the heat and the blanket and the old man kicking the crap out of her for trying to get heat as a child who was really, really, really thin and probably didn't have enough fat on her body to keep her warm in the winter. But mind you, she's a child who needs heat every day because it's a necessity. If you don't have it, it's neglect. And when you try to get it and get beaten up for doing so, it's neglect and abuse, right? So is that Bree says that's not fake. Sparky, how can you make that stuff up? Rise up. It is a credible story. Autumn Loving, yes, it happened. I believe you, and I believe her as well. We all validate that sister and her story, and we won't believe your bullshit at the end of the day, Pickle Boy, which is what you want everyone to believe, which is your sister is a liar when she's not. She went out of her way to trivialize her own child abuse because she didn't realize it made the dad look like shit. She forgot that that was abuse. She didn't know that was abuse, as she told me. And she forgot and didn't know and didn't realize that that makes her father a child abuser. Not a sweet little old man, but a child abuser. Michael Fairfax, that was real because I know how cold those trailers get in the winter. Excellent point, Michael Fairfax. And Michael Fairfax knows the importance of a dad doing the right thing, which is maybe going without the cigarettes or the alcohol to pay for that bill, or not displacing your anger because maybe you're worried you don't have enough money to pay the bill or whatever it may be, and not displacing your childhood abuse anger. And you guys, I'm telling you right now that that old man had PTSD. All of his anger came from that PTSD, any mental illness he may have had, and all the disgusting abuse he went through. And they said his father was paralyzed when he turned age 6, but was still very abusive from when he was born till age 6. Now, then his mother took over. Is that possible that he learned to disrespect women because his mother was mean and abusive and wasn't respectable? Is that possibility? Is it a possibility that everything I'm saying coincides with each other so well, like a well-woven blanket, because there's no reason to lie. There's no reason not to validate people's childhood abuse stories, but the only reason to do it and say it's fake would be to cover up for that child abuser and all this money and all the shows and all the subscribers. Is that a possibility? So now that we believe her childhood abuse story, and thank you so much for the people in the chat that are saying they believe it, Crystal says, because when you are being abused, you think it's normal, you think everyone is abused and that you deserve it. Yes, Crystal. And as a child, you can't speak out or stick up for yourself. And that's why we need adults that will, because not every adult is doing the right thing. Pickle Boy grabbing those kids and filming their abuse and filming their mom being abused and exploiting them and wanting the audience to think it's fake, then turning around and trying to pretend to be a good guy by saying you respect women when you don't respect women at all. You don't even respect your mom. If you don't have respect for your mom, you've done something wrong. Something went wrong somewhere. You have to respect somebody. He's telling us the only person he respects or wants to thank is the girlfriend whom sat around and allowed all the abuse to happen, whom turned into an exact replica of him, down to the things she says, down to the way she looks. You're thanking her because she helped you get away with the abuse, fool. That's why you're thanking her. Thank your mama. Thank your sister. Thank those kids that you're abusing and exploiting further on camera. You guys, I'm going to take a really quick break. I don't mean to Haggy Rants it up over here. I'm not going to leave you for too long. I've been streaming for 2 hours. I just need to get some water and I need to take a break for a second. Please don't go anywhere. Please stay in the chat. Please keep talking to each other. Please click the like button. Let me read one more thing. Rise up. I think it's pretty obvious AGP's children were neglected continuously. AGP always has cigarettes and liquor and cirrhosis and candy and pinwheels, and the children had next to nothing in comparison. Yeah, and it's also like, what are you willing to give up to help get out of poverty? Because Pickle Boy wants to make it seem all great that they were in poverty and got out of it, even though he used everybody and lied to the audience to do so, and everyone got abused and exploited and hurt. But what did the dad do? What did the old man do to help get the family out of poverty? Nothing. They stayed in poverty their whole lives until that exploitation happened. Until we were told as the audience that abuse is funny and it's normalized. And look at this child abuser who makes women cry. Isn't he such a great guy? Isn't he such an icon? Isn't he such a wonderful person? The only person that's going to be looking up to someone like that is the animal in the corner and the angry neighbor who have no backbone, spine, or integrity, who have no truth to themselves. Those are the people backing him up and supporting him, guys. Not you guys. You are holding yourselves to a different standard. You're coming up with your own opinions and you feel holding people accountable, and that's great. Yeah, the old man was telling a story about how one of the little kids didn't have shoes or how the shoes were all busted. That makes you look really bad as a dad, especially when you're on camera saying bad things about government programs that you need to reach out to pull yourself out of poverty. I see him abusing the wife when she gets home. Maybe if you were there to cook her a nice meal and rub her feet, maybe she would have been the nurse that she wanted to be. But no, you abused her into not believing in herself anymore. You took away her self-respect and her dignity. You took away her humanity. And you told all your children it was okay to disrespect her right along in the process. That was the old man. Did he ever give up the cigarettes or the alcohol or the pills? Did he ever give up the abuse? Did he ever give up complaining and hurting people and insulting people? Did he ever give up the... No, never. He just pretended the last couple years of his life to get money and to lie to you, the audience. I need to take a break. I will be right back. Please click the like button. I'll be right back. Oh, here, where? This thing? All right, my beautiful people. Click one in the chat if you guys can hear me, because I need to make sure, I'm back from my break. I need to make sure that you guys can hear me. I got my headset back on the correct way. I've unmuted myself. I just want to make sure. Yeah? Okay, good. Thank you. Wonderful. And I realize it's late, and I realize, it is late, and this is important. This is important. I'm not going to just leave you guys hanging. It is really hard to keep up with the channel and to try to speak out and try to do the right thing. But when I heard that live stream, I see what's going on. I see the manipulation. I see how you guys don't even have a place to go to talk about this unless I'm up. So I need to be up more often. Even if I'm up talking and, I get a little tired, I need some water and it's late and I got stuff to do tomorrow. Who cares? I can do what I need to do tomorrow and be tired, because this is important. This is important enough to talk about every day. And I wish I could, and maybe I will start doing it, because this isn't right. It doesn't seem right to me. Okay, this isn't a question. Well, maybe it is a question. I don't know. The daughter who reached out to my channel. Do you guys believe her abuse perspective? And do you believe she told me that? And do you believe that she told me that she was abused? Or do you think that now they're going to backpedal it? Do you think she opened up and expressed something to me after she saw Out of the Shadows? And I will show you all the DMs. Do you believe me when she told me that she was abused and her brother? Do you guys believe it? Because if you don't want to believe me, I'm asking, do you believe her? Do you believe the sister who shaved her head, who came to me and told me that Pickle Boy and the other sister weren't abused, thus inferring that her and the other brother were, because of the scapegoats, and clearly their life has gone so terribly because of it? If you don't want to believe me, do you believe her? Bree says yes. Brienne says yes. Okay. Anybody else want to say yes on that? Does anyone else believe her when she says that she was abused? Whether it be her childhood abuse story or reaching out to me, telling me directly. Michael Fairfax, rise up. Charlie, what do you guys think? Do you believe her? Rise up. Yes, I believe her. I think it's worse than what she admitted so far. I know, and it sounds like she has a lot of other stories, which she does, in my opinion, but she's not going to share them now. But why isn't that one childhood abuse story enough? Just the one should be enough. But I guess it's not enough. And what about Pickle Boy's? Is his enough? Do we believe Pickle Boy's abuse of childhood abuse? Do we believe him? Did he open up to us there? Is it possible he doesn't know what abuse really is? Because we see he just was still in his abuse role up until last year, helping people get abused and neglected and exploited and scapegoated. Do we believe he's telling that story of getting hit in the face with the jar, and that he's saying it because he's trivializing it just like the other sister did, and it's normalized for him, and he thinks the dad's so great and so funny, and he's being comedic in that video? Does he not know the extent of his own childhood abuse, but he's exposing it? Do you guys believe Pickle Boy when he tells you his story of abuse? Do you believe it? It's a direct question. Bree says yes. Into surgery regarding the sister, he says, yes, I think it touched a very deep sore spot in her life, but she's afraid of losing what little she has left. She told the truth when she reached out. Into surgery, thank you for being honest. Thank you. Sparky, I believe it. Autumn, Loving, yes. Into surgery, yes. Brienne, I don't know what to believe from him. He lies so much about things. That's a very honest answer. But Brienne, I got to ask you, based on the abuse roles and abuse patterns and the fact we all agreed to in the beginning that this is a real abusive family, and you did agree to Jen and her childhood abuse story, and you see the fact she's trivializing it, blaming herself by calling herself a little shit. And he was almost even laughing about it. Is it a possibility that that story Pickle Boy told us was true and goes right along with this abusive family and the abuse roles, and that there is a possibility, and that it's the truth. It's right there in front of our faces. And that it does go right along with abuse patterns, even when the dad bought him the toy to shut him up. Brienne says, I believe he was abused, but he tends to exaggerate for drama effect. Okay, I could see that. What do you think he exaggerated for drama effect in that story, though? Do you think he was abused or not? Do you think he was abused and neglected? I'm talking about Pickle Boy right now. Because even if he wasn't directly ever yelled at or hit, even living in a home with abuse that you agreed happened to the daughter, you're still going to get affected at the end of the day. He clearly still is affected at the end of the day. He could cry on cue. He cries about his about trauma. He's got a lot of trauma. Even seeing the dad, you know what? I've seen the dad verbally abuse him on camera. I've seen the dad call him fat ass and tell him he didn't even want him. He's on his son. I've seen the dad put his hands on him, and at the end of what is that? What is our video? Don't cry. Is the dad not grabbing onto him there and pushing him around, or no? Pickle Boy's story of abuse just goes along with everything that's being said here. Brienne neglected. Yes, absolutely, of course. If you look at the other sister's channel, not the one that's not the scapegoat, she has a video up with pictures from the family. It's an older video. And she even is showing child neglect in one of the pictures, and she acknowledges it herself. She says, look how dirty we were. But we were happy. Happy because you're children and you don't know any better. You don't know to stick up for yourself. You don't know that this abuse is going to ruin your life. And you have no means and no way of getting out of it. So, Brienne, you're absolutely right. We do see neglect in that picture. She even acknowledges herself. The kids are looking dirty. That's a sign of neglect. Visibly disheveled, visibly dirty. The old man said that one of the kids didn't have shoes, and he got emotional about it. I think he got emotional about talking about his little child who didn't have shoes because he didn't do anything to put shoes on her feet. If he could have changed or took accountability for his anger, or was more respectful to women, or was more respectful to the wife and helped her be the nurse and wasn't abusive towards her and was able to deal with his childhood trauma and realize that all this anger comes from being hurt. If he was able to do that, maybe he would have been able to have a little bit more money and not feed into his addictions, and he could have put the shoes on the kids. And he could have got the new beds that I see that were clearly used for decades on end. And he could have put clothes on the kids that were wearing hand-me-downs, clothes that didn't fit them in one episode I seen. And maybe the daughter could have taken care of her own children and wouldn't have gotten mixed up in relationships that didn't serve any purpose for her because she had no self-esteem and thought she deserved garbage because that's what her father fed to her. It's not fake. I wish it was. But even then, I don't wish it was, because why would we be exploiting and profiting off of child abuse and abusing women and children on camera? We're at a stalemate here. It's either or, and both is terrible. Mind you, it's not fake. People need to stop seeing this old man as some little old innocent man. He's made women cry on camera. He spat in their face and put his finger in their face. He's thrown and breaking everything in his home in the earlier videos and is blaming other people. That's an abuse pattern. That's something an abuser does. You can't control your anger, you break something, you blame someone else. He abused his daughter to the point she couldn't take care of her own children, let alone herself, and ended up on his couch so she could get abused again by him and exploited by her brother. Bree says AGP didn't even like himself. I agree with you, because how can you like yourself when you're so mean and disgusting to other people? You don't have any room to like yourself because he couldn't even change who he was. He was stuck. He didn't even bother to change. And making that show and these shows, he didn't have any reason to change. Pickle Boy facilitated all this behavior and allowed it to happen. He's just as bad as the dad. Brienne, there's nothing fake about any of it. Thank you. I agree. Princess Charlie, that is the reason the old man got mad about Pickle Boy posting the first video, because it exposed the old man's abuse and neglect. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with that. Do you think the dad wanted that exposed at first? He got mad about it. But then when the money started rolling in, he didn't even mind lying to you about being a supposed good person. And he certainly didn't mind about, before that partnership, he didn't mind about abusing everybody in sight with insults, spitting at them, throwing things on them. That's abuse. But the worst thing that could happen is that you internalize the abuse. It affects your life. Like the child he's chastising on camera who is not able to get it together in the classroom. That's the abuse receipt. There's the pattern. And he says that he's the only kid that has the problems. What about the eldest son who had to go to a special school for behavioral problems because he couldn't stop throwing things around and getting angry, because that's what he learned from the old man. That's an abuse receipt and abuse pattern. Okay, more questions for you guys. Okay, now we all know that I made welfare checks before they talked about this abuse in the summer, correct? You see it on the channel. Now here's a direct question to you guys in the chat. Do you think Charlie Chill was a safe person to have around the kids and the elderly father AGP? At the height when he was taking his drugs, when he was pissed off on camera, bullying people online, acting out through anger, making death threats a year ago. Do you think Charlie Chill was a safe person to have around the kids in AGP? Rise Up, no. Brienne says no. Autumn Loving says nah. Princess Charlie, no. Jenny, no. Crystal Selvage, hell no. 31 watching. Gigi's Life, no. Let me ask you this. Now that we know that, and I thought so as well, do you think that I was trying to help by making welfare calls? Or was it coincidence because there's no abuse, like person in the corner says in Angry Tina? Did I see that that person was abusive and had the potential to abuse a child and an adult, and they laid that abuse out in the summer? Or is it all coincidental and it's all fake and it didn't happen, and Charlie Chill's safe to have around kids and he didn't abuse the kids? What do we think about that? Rise Up says I was trying to help. Bree says no, he wasn't a safe person to have around. Right, Bree? Crystal says, yes, I think you were trying to call to help. Probably, is that what you're saying? Jenny, yep. Rise Up, you was doing the right thing, into surgery. Without a doubt, you were trying to help. Brienne, if you didn't call, someone would have. Someone had to have. But not someone would have, because they didn't, right? They didn't call and they didn't get the guy out. So it had to have been an outside person who's seen the problems and that wanted to try to help, which is what happened. Sparky says, I think that call should have been made. And yes, I believe you were right in doing so. Thank you. So now that we know that, we gotta flip over, because there's people lying. So we gotta take what they say into account, right? So they want you to think it's fake, right? The person in the corner, Pickle Boy, angry neighbor. So if it's fake, and they think it's coincidence that I called, apparently, and Charlie Chill was completely safe to have around children and didn't abuse the kids, then why are they mad that I tried to help when they're putting out and saying the kids got abused? Does it make sense that I would get attacked, or that they would take my channel down? If it's fake, just say it's fake and say why it's fake and why you did it. But does it make sense that I was trying to help by making welfare calls and they won't further explain to you how they believe or their proof on how that was coincidental? What about that? They want you to believe what they want you to believe. Charlie's great. He wasn't on drugs. He had no problem and he's never been abused. And he's perfectly fine to have around kids and an elderly person. And welfare checks were made. Then why go on camera and say the kids got abused? Why even fake it at that point? Is it possible that they were scapegoating the brother and didn't want to take accountability for having done nothing? Is that a possibility? Is that brother a scapegoat or is he not? Do they blame him for everything that goes on in the family, even though certain things are his direct fault? But does he get the blame at the end of the day for everything? While Pickle Boy is taking no accountability, and you guys now are to believe that abuse is fake, yet no one will talk to you candidly or explain to you why they faked it, even knowing that welfare checks were made beforehand. If you're a big content creator and you don't want people to think your family's abusive because supposedly you're not abusive, and people call that house and make welfare checks to protect the family twice over, why would you go on camera and say the kids got abused? Was he scapegoating and trying to protect himself and the father? Please answer it. Autumn Loving, big time. Bree says yes. Crystal says, I think Charlie is a scapegoat, just like the angry neighbor used Bree and I as scapegoats. Okay, so we're all well aware of what that term is in relations to abusive families. And we're all well aware that I've been talking for 6 months and nobody has addressed the abuse. And the abuse specifically that they're not addressing, one case of abuse out of all these different cases, is that abuse in the summer that I tried to prevent. Does it make any sense that you would just go on camera and say abuse did happen and have the kids say abuse happened if it didn't happen and someone made welfare checks on you? Does that make any sense to anybody? I would love for anybody to answer. I'll tell it to you both ways again. Did I see abuse patterns? Did I see this brother as a scapegoat? Did I see that he's suffering and from his trauma still as a child? He can't even get a hold of his anger. Did I see that he was on drugs? Did I see that he was abusing people online? Did I see that he shouldn't have been around kids and I made welfare checks and they laid out the abuse to scapegoat him and to blame him in totality when they didn't want to take accountability that welfare checks were made and that neglect is abuse and they could have prevented that abuse? Is that what happened? Or did I call and make welfare checks coincidentally and Charlie didn't abuse the kids and they got those welfare checks and no abuse happened, and then they just told you in the summertime abuse happened that didn't happen? Does that make any sense? What do you think? Is it what I said, the first thing, or the second thing? And if they're going to say abuse happened, why would they get mad at someone for trying to prevent it? Does that make any sense? Sparky, that person's asking, this Victoria Cotton, because she's gone around and saying that I get money for my videos, which I don't. And she's also said I'm roasting the family, but roasts are roasts, comedy. And these are serious videos. And this Victoria Cotton person also said not to fuck with her when my channel went down. And she was gloating about it and said, haha, don't ever fuck with me again. That's Victoria Cotton, this Georgia girl, person that said that she's dating Doug West. And she's in the chat right now, not addressing the abuse, but asking questions. And I see she disappeared again. But anyways, a direct question. You know, and she's asking questions because she doesn't want you guys to listen to what I'm saying right now. So she wants to put it back on me and ask about me and my life when I don't have anything to do with anything. I haven't made millions of dollars off abuse, right, guys? And neglect. I'm just someone working over here for free, and she's bothered by it. So maybe she can answer, since she says she's dating Doug West and she's Georgia girl, and now Victoria Cotton says I'm getting paid for my videos, which I'm not getting paid for my videos, Victoria. I've already proved that. But maybe you want to prove why you said that, why you're lying to everybody. But aside from that, she doesn't want you guys answering this question right now. So if she says one more thing, get rid of her, because she's being a distraction. And Victoria Cotton, child abuse is more important than you. Child abuse is more important than you insulting me. Child abuse is more important than you manipulating the chat right now. Get rid of her. Goodbye, Victoria Cotton. Good luck proving I am getting paid for my videos. I'm going to go right back to the question I just asked, which I didn't see any answers to. Deflect, deflect, deflect. Brianne, you got it, girlfriend. Okay, here we go. Did I see that Charlie Chill could have hurt the children and was being an abuser online? And he was addicted to drugs, and he can't control his anger like everybody sees on camera. It's got his old channel taken down. He can't control his mouth, the guy. He can't control his anger because his PTSD, because his father abused him. Buy my shirt. My dad's a child abuser. So did I see that the children were in danger and I tried to help? And that in the summertime, Pickle Boy scapegoated the brother for that abuse happening. In totality, took no responsibility and didn't want you to think the dad, the old man was the guardian and on his watch as well. Those kids got abused and neglected because of him. He doesn't want you thinking that, holding him accountable, or even talking about it. Is that what happened? Or was it coincidental that I called? The kids didn't get abused. They're faking it and having the kids fake child abuse on camera by stating they got abused. I called coincidentally. Charlie Chill's really not an abuser. He didn't abuse him. He can control his anger, guys. The cleanup guy was lying when he said the old man got abused in the summer when he was at the hotel room and bothering the brother. I want to know right now, is it coincidental? Is it coincidental? Or they want you to think so because it backs up lies. And it backs up the fact that they allowed abuse to happen on their watch because they didn't understand abuse patterns, child abuse, and neglect. Is it coincidental that it happened? Crystal says no. What I said happened, no faking here. Jenny says yes, it is what happened. Into surgery. He was terrified that his image and brand would have suffered. Yes. There we go. Now the truth comes out. And I really hate to have to reiterate things and explain it in this manner to such an intelligent audience, but I have to, because you see people deflecting. You see people coming in the chat wanting you to talk about something else. You see them not want you. They don't want you to get to the juice. They don't want you to get to the point that Pickle Boy is a child abuser as well, right? Does he allow abuse to happen on his watch? Does he push children down and step on their heads? Does he exploit them on camera by saying you respect women? When Pickle Boy doesn't know how to respect anybody, let alone himself. Because any respectable man I know wouldn't walk in on his mother having sex when she's naked and bent over, which is the next video I got to show you. You want to thank Princess for everything you got and for getting to where you've been, and you want to forget about your mama, and you want to forget about that sister there who's letting you abuse her kid again on camera? You want everybody just to forget and not hold you accountable. Okay, what's my next question here? Oh, here's a question. Why would they fake abuse after welfare checks? Since they don't want you to think it's real, it's all coincidental. Why would there be any reason to fake child abuse and have the kids get on camera saying that they've been abused and were given drugs and were threatened, is there any reason to fake abuse after welfare checks? Or are they just saying exactly what happened and scapegoating the person that abused them directly? Because they don't want you to think that neglect is abuse. And I have to drill it in, and I'll talk about it every day if I have to. We know that there is such a thing as child abuse prevention. We know that you can pick up a camera and exploit people or not. It's a choice. If you don't tell the audience and inform them of that, and you just scapegoat your brother because you want to save your show because of money purposes, then your audience is going to forget themselves and not know that they can prevent child abuse and neglect, and they have a hand in it. I need one of these. They have a hand right now. They have a hand in it, and they partake in it when they don't do anything about it. And they manipulate you, the audience, with channels like the dog in the corner and the cleanup man who has fleas and has to roll around on the floor laughing to get the fleas off because he thinks it's funny that he took my channel down. Mind you, I guess you have no power at all because my channel's right back up, bitch. So, anyways, why would they fake abuse after welfare checks? Oh, Bree, they backpedal a lot. Yeah, when called out on things, the brother whom lost his channel even backpedaled the sexual abuse that was exposed against him. He even backpedaled that on that Piggy channel. And I'm not going to say the whole channel because it's a horrible channel that nobody should be watching because it's a channel they can all go to lie and try to make themselves look better, basically. That's what that channel's being used for. So it made them look it made them look really, really good, right? When they all said, oh, look, the brother abused us, and we all thought about the brother and the sexual abuse. We didn't think about, oh, wait, the old man neglected those kids. The old man abused and neglected those kids. Pickle Boy helped hide it by scapegoating the brother on camera. So we will only talk about the brother and not the prevention. If Pickle Boy doesn't know that he can prevent abuse right along with the dad who was the guardian, whom abused his daughter to the point where she couldn't even watch her own children because he abused her further for the show so Pickle Boy could get more money. You see how messed up and disgusting this is? Let me do a 33-minute stream like the animal in the corner and just ignore everything and not talk to you guys about what they don't want you guys talking about or listening or hearing. Crystal says he blamed the girl. He blamed his sister. Yeah. He got on camera, and you can look at my Silence Breakers videos. I called him out on it. I'll tell you something right now. When I made the dysfunctional tree video, in the comments section, somebody asked me, what about the sexual abuse that was exposed by the sisters and Pickle Boy? What about that sexual abuse? And I told that person, it's coming in the next video. It's a video unto itself. It's a video that deserves special attention. It's a video that I can't do justice by talking about in just this one video, which already was too long to begin with, the dysfunctional tree video. I wrote that in the comments that I was going to be addressing the sexual abuse. Look at the date of that video, the dysfunctional tree video. You guys want to know a bombshell? The very next day on Piggy channel, that's when the son said it didn't happen and that those little girls asked for it, that Michael wasn't there and he didn't know what went on and that he didn't abuse anybody. It was the day after I dropped that dysfunctional tree video and said I was going to be calling them out on that sexual abuse. I was going to be calling them out on that vivid memory. I think it's a flashback. The sister wants to call it a vivid memory So vivid down to the direct music, which is exactly what Pickle Boy remembered about from his PTSD as a child having a glass thrown on his face. He remembers the ducktail music. That's post-traumatic stress syndrome. And they're sharing it with the audience for views and money to normalize an abuser and maybe to, I don't even know why, trivializing their own abuse because they don't even know it affected them how much it did. They don't even know that they can prevent abuse. And they don't even know that they can prevent it by not lying to the audience, scapegoating the brother, and by acknowledging that neglect is also abuse. Neglecting the welfare checks is abuse. Maybe you could have helped the kids. Stop trying to normalize that child abuser old man and start taking accountability for the abuse that's happened on camera and in that family. The only person that can acknowledge or admit to that sexual abuse happening was the sisters and Pickle Boy and the other brother. And Pickle Boy said the sisters got sexually abused. But then the other brother wants to go on camera and on Piggy Channel and say, oh, Michael doesn't know what he's talking about. He wasn't even there. And Michael's not going to get on camera and tell you what happened because it makes the old man look really bad because it ties directly back to child abuse. But Pickle Boy not speaking out on behalf of what's right compromises his relationship with his sisters. He's not backing up and supporting those little girls that got sexually abused. So the brother that held the sister down from aggression and from abuse, because he had so much pent-up aggression because he's being mistreated so badly in that family and scapegoated so badly that he held his little sister down to get hurt. He acted out from his abuse. Angry Neighbor won't touch that story or even address or mention what I'm saying at all. That compromises her as a supposed survivor of sexual abuse. She wants to scapegoat the son, but she doesn't want to mention that it could have been prevented by talking about what the old man did and didn't do, which was abuse and neglect kids. He abused the son to the point he acted out violently to the family, and then he neglected everybody by not going around and he didn't watch any of the kids. Lack of supervision. There's even proof. One episode I saw, the eldest son took a toy away or something from one of the kids. And the kid got really frustrated and angry and was really mad because there was no adult there telling the kids what was right and wrong and what to do. The old man had said, oh, don't take that away from him, but then proceeded to show no teeth in his mouth and move right along to what was being filmed in Pickle Boy and just filming the episode. And Pickle Boy turns back around with the camera on this kid on the floor. And I will show this. I am going to look up this video and show it. And the kid's on the floor, frustrated beyond belief, upset that he can't get that item back and that nobody's doing the right thing and nobody's administering the correct disciplines. And there's this huge lack of supervision to the point where children get sexually abused, children get physically abused. It's disgusting. It disgusts me that I'm really oh, and please check out Kizzy Bug. KIZZIEBUG. She spoke out today for hashtag what about the abuse on her own channel. She spoke out against this, against these atrocities. She did it on her own channel. Please check her out. Kizzy Bug. KIZZIEBUG. Kizzy Bug. Speaking out against this abuse. Another woman taking a stand. Another strong woman. Princess Charlie, there are so many different forms of abuse in this dysfunctional family. It could be hard to believe that there wasn't sexual abuse as well. Right. Yeah, I believe the sisters when they said they were sexually abused. And I believe this story. The story goes, and as the sister stated in her statement, that the brother held her down so he could allow the friend to do things. I believe that. I'm going to validate her perspective. I believe it because it happens, and I think it did happen. And the brother getting up on Piggy Channel with this big story concocted 6 months later, after I say I'm going to address it, the next day he says it didn't happen. Michael wasn't there. I was sexually abused, this, that. That's called backpedaling abuse, because that abuse ties directly back to the old man who was a child abuser who abused everybody. But nobody that disagrees is willing to have this conversation with me, because you can't have a conversation that leads directly back to lies and then have a person who follows logic believe it. Nobody's going to believe you. You're not even willing to get on stream and talk about it or address it or take accountability for it, but you want everyone to hate on me. I don't think so. You guys, if you haven't clicked like on the chat on this stream yet, please do. Please click like for me. It's not easy staying up late talking about people who don't even want your channel up, who hate the content because it's so truthful that it may make these people look bad. God forbid they have to take some accountability for what they're doing or not doing. But you know what? If you make millions of dollars at the end of the day, if you want people to think you're a good guy for pulling your family out of poverty and writing a rap song, if you want to say a child abuser is a legend and an icon, then you will have to put up with a channel like this who's going to call you out on it because you're a liar. Keep selling those angry t-shirts, which sells anger that's been displaced, that's caused child abuse and abuse against women and children and even men, and every different type of abuse we could be talking about, okay? Sparky says it's not that you can't believe it. It's just hard to face and talk about. Absolutely. But can you guys, yes. And with that, we have to all acknowledge the longer this channel is up, the more we talk about it, the more we can face it. And the more we can get through and the more we can change. And they're not going to like it because it may impede a show or gravy train or whatever, but nobody ever asks them. They already put the material out there for opinions to be formulated. They just want the opinion that they want you to think, which is that everything's okay, everything's funny, look how great, give me your like and your subscribe, give me your money. That's the only thing they care about. That's the only thing they want you to think. Did anyone in the chat answer why would they fake abuse after welfare checks? Did anyone address that? Why would they fake abuse after these welfare checks? Or did they scapegoat that brother for all the abuse happening because they didn't want to take accountability or responsibility? But if you do that and have children and you're watching children and you're the guardian or you're the uncle, you're trying to take accountability, you're helping them get abused. And you're helping it do it and lie and cover it up for manipulation because you don't want your money to be affected. Pickle boy. Now, remember we said earlier, did everyone at the time and even now think that that abuse in the summer happened and was real to those kids that they stated? We answered that. Here's a question to go along with that for the chat. Why would anyone get mad at me, such as the angry neighbor, this person in the corner, cleanup guy, take it down my channel, whoever, pickle boy? Why would anyone get upset for anyone taking the abuse to be real when everyone thought it was real because they portrayed it to be real? Why would anyone get mad at me for trying to help these kids? We all thought the abuse was real. They portrayed it to be real. Would it have been negligent for me to have not done anything if I thought something was going to happen? Would that have been negligent? And why are the Monopoly members getting mad at me for taking what they want to portray as being real, which is their real abuse patterns? Why do they want people to think badly about me for taking it to be real and for calling? Sparky says because there's abusers threaten. Yeah, it was the angry neighbor. Didn't she like threaten her moms the other day? She told them to get their asses in there and was being abusive to them. And it's because she's an abuser herself. I've seen her abuse her son on camera. I'll put it in a video. I've already spoken about it. She called him fat. And he's displaying anxiety and distress, which is not good, and a huge abuse receipt for a child. And she just yells and curses and just doesn't care about anything. She cares about creating an episode. Because right then and there, she breaks her glasses and we have an episode created. But at whose expense? At ignoring your son? Angry neighbor? At ignoring your son who needed help? Who needed you to sit there and listen to him instead of just saying he's crazy? Who needed you to not yell and curse and not insult him? Sparky, let's not talk about that because it's in a video. Oh, I don't know if it's in a video. Go watch it. But I don't want to. I don't want to have too many distractions. Like we're talking about Pickle Boy and this old man over here. The angry neighbor is a distraction. You know, like at the end of the day, nothing. She doesn't need to address anything because she's an abuser herself and supports and backs up abuse. She verbally abused her own son on camera, calling him fat and yelling and cursing because she cared more about making an episode than doing what was right. Like I said, Sparky, that I can't substantiate that. You know, I'm it's fine. It's hard enough trying to get people to even take the abuse that happened to these kids seriously. Sparky, can you answer me this? Sparky, can you answer me this question? Why would anyone get mad at me for taking the abuse to be real that they said in the summertime when everyone thought it was real? Can you answer me that, Sparky, please? I'll ask one more time. I'm really hoping someone will answer. Why would anyone get mad at me, these Monopoly members, for taking the abuse that they said happened to the kids in the summer? Why would they get mad at me for taking it to be real when everyone thought it was real? Why would they get mad at me for making welfare checks? Or are they mad that I'm just making videos showing you what's happened? Or is it coincidence and no abuse happened at all? And should they be getting mad at me and you, the whole audience, for believing abuse that they said was real? Please answer me that. No, that's not the answer. I need an answer to this direct question. Why would the people in their monopoly, angry neighbor, person in the corner, cleanup guy, the sister, why would anybody get upset, mad, or ruffled for abuse that they said happened in the summer to the children that everyone thought was real and we all scapegoated and hated the brother? Why would they get mad at somebody for taking a stand and trying to protect the kids? Or does the fact that that even happened that way show that that abuse is in fact real? Think about it. People are saying, oh, that's fake. This is fake. Or why are you even talking about it? Or leave them alone. Why would anyone get mad at abuse that I tried to prevent that they said happened? Does that make any sense? Sparky says because they don't want to be exposed. Pretty much. Into surgery because it shifts control. Yep. Does it make sense to get mad at somebody for trying to prevent abuse from happening, which they said themselves happened? Does that make any sense? Autumn says, because I didn't think anyone would contact CPS. Autumn, you're absolutely right. Actually, in March, when all this abuse was, even the angry neighbor was talking about abuse, and the brother was acting real erratic and really, really volatile online and angry online. What did Pickle Boy do? He went on camera and he said, I welcome welfare checks. I welcome CPS. I've got nothing to hide. I welcome it. Well, you welcome it. Here it is. What's the problem? Sparky says they're backpedaling the abuse to focus on what, instead of focusing on what they're doing. Yeah. Autumn says makes no sense. Yeah, it doesn't really make any sense, does it? Bree says I don't want people to see the real deal. Yeah, pretty much. They just want to fire back, backpedal, but insult, and then not talk about what's going on. It doesn't make any sense to get mad at someone for making welfare checks when you said abuse happened and you got your whole audience to believe that abuse because we see that your family is abusive and neglectful and your dad's a child abuser. So why would you get mad that anyone took it real and tried to help? You know why? Because you can't convince anyone of how they knew that was going to happen beforehand, and you can't convince anyone of it, of not believing that someone actually saw an abuse pattern and saw that prevention could happen, because it makes you look bad. Makes them look bad, right? Something the angry neighbor said that was very interesting was she was referring to me and she was saying it's not the kids' fault that they have messed up parents. And she was blaming me. And she said over and over, it's not the kids' fault that they have messed up parents. Yeah, I never blame the kids for having parents that didn't take care of them. I'm the one that's trying to stand up for them and did take a stand. You're the one that's saying something on live stream, Angry Neighbor, that makes absolutely no sense whatsoever, in hopes of manipulating the audience long enough just to talking about nothing that makes any sense and listening to something that makes no sense. You're damn right. It's not the kid's fault that the parents don't stick up for him, that the uncle, Pickle Boy, doesn't stick up, that the old man didn't take any accountability. You're damn right it's not their fault. And that's why real adults with real backbones and spines have the audacity and nerve to call and stick up for the kids and even the abuser, the elderly man who was abused as well. You really have to listen to what the things she says. They make no sense at all. And if you're up every day making no sense, I don't understand how some people, that's enough for them. They could look at this channel and go, I'm going to attack it, or I'm just going to stick up for this person, or I'm an outlaw, even though I don't stick up for child abuse and I can't even have a conversation where direct questions lead back to the abuse, and their point of view and their perspective and what they want you to think makes no fucking sense. Another question for you guys in the audience. Yeah, Dr. Pepper, they want people to Dr. Pepper, Dr. Pepper 1885, baby. They want people to laugh and support them and not think about the reality of what's going on. Absolutely. That's what just happened tonight in the corner, the gentleman in the corner. 30 minutes of garbage. 30 minutes of nothingness. 30 minutes of just think badly about me. When last I checked, I've never abused and neglected a child. Or a woman, for that matter, person in the corner, like you have. But here's a direct question for you guys in the audience. Are you guys ready for another direct question? The people watching, the people in the chat. If it's fake child abuse, if it's fake spousal abuse, if it's fake domestic violence, if it's all fake, especially in the summer, do you think the family would wonder who made those welfare checks and why they did it, and why then turn around and fake abuse for profit on the channel. I'll say it again. If it's fake child abuse, spousal abuse, domestic violence in the summer and in any videos that we see the abuse and the abuse patterns, do you think that this family would wonder, wow, who made those calls and why did they make those calls? And would they wonder who did it? And would they then turn around and fake abuse at that point? Or were they scapegoating the brother so they could take the heat off of the old man and off Pickle Boy, which it did it not? Did it work or did it not? When they laid out that abuse in the summer, did they make you feel bad for the kids and bad for AGP who was crying, fake crying? And did everyone get pissed off at just the brother? You're going to get mad at the brother. Yeah, he abused the kids, gave them drugs. But if we just blame the brother, we can't admit that the abuse could have been prevented, and we don't hold the other child abusers accountable, which is the old man and Pickle Boy, and even the sister, sadly. Here's another question. Is it coincidence that I called and made welfare checks in March and in May of last year, around the same exact time the angry neighbor, not that anyone listens to her, but is it coincidence that I saw something? I saw the kids were going to get abused and hurt. I saw they were in danger. Is it coincidence that I saw that? And at the same time, the angry neighbor is saying on live stream, the kids are getting abused. She said she gave the kids drugs, Adderall, and the brother took all the Adderall, and she was a big hero, gave it to them so they could go to school. Is it coincidence that the brother was acting out violently with anger and making death threats towards people for not just the first time around, now second time around? Is it coincidence that that brother has no control over his anger and was addicted to drugs? Is that coincidence? Or does it fall right into line with this abusive family and the patterns? Brienne says, yes, that's when Charlie was given the boot. It all fell into place. Princess Charlie, abuse sells for them. They probably try to find out who made the calls so they can bully them or buy them. Yeah, basically. There will be a sabotage about me at the end of the day. I have some speculations because I look at other people's channels and I'm trying to be aware, but I'm not aware of everything. But there will be a sabotage because it's going to be a last-ditch effort. Well, maybe if they think something bad about Roasted, none of this will be true, or everyone will think it's fake, or we'll feel bad for the family, or won't take anything into accountability, or whatever. I can't even tell you. It's a whole video or a whole live stream unto itself, but I'd rather talk about the abuse. Yes, they're going to sabotage me. Yes, they're going to try to destroy me. Yes, they already are. Yes, they already take the channel down. I don't care. I think the smartest part of the audience will know to hold them accountable and will keep the conversation going. And to everyone else who has to believe something bad about me, believe it, but still talk about these things, hold them accountable. Let's have this conversation still. And also, it goes right along with what Princess Charlie's saying. Abuse sells for them. They probably tried to find out who made the call so they can bully them or buy them. Bully me. Just a bully. Mind you, someone on my last channel, 8-9 months ago, they said I was working for the Greens. That was the tactic that was being used at that time to shut me up and to manipulate the audience into not believing me, thinking I was working for the Greens. You guys think I'm working for the Greens now? Into surgery. They all knew about the abuse, but no one wanted to upset the money cart, pretty much. And that's everyone in the monopoly, too. So what does that say about the angry neighbor? Not such a great person, right? What about this person who got out of jail, who wants you to think bad things about me? It's in the corner talking crap. Doesn't make him look really good, does it? Doesn't make the cleanup guy look good, although he doesn't make himself look good anyways. And it really doesn't make Pickle Boy look good. It really doesn't make the old man look good. Sparky says, oh, they have to redirect everyone's mind and keep them controlled into staying with them and supporting them. If they don't, then you will win, Roasted. And here's the thing, it's not about winning or losing. It's about keeping the conversation alive. And they do see it as a direct attack. We can only win if we raise awareness, which we are. We can only win if we keep the conversation alive. We can only win if we're talking about the truth and holding people accountable. And Sparky and everyone else in here, you guys see what's going on. If we could redirect everyone's mind, like Sparky says, and keep controlling them and manipulating them into supporting them and thinking it's not fake or thinking it's real, but not holding them accountable, then maybe they'll get away with it. Just maybe you won't care and they'll get away with it. Bree says, I believe he watches your channel. I've had everybody over here. The son with the Charlie's Angels, all over my last channel. The sister, cleanup person, angry neighbor, they're all over here. Here's a question, Bree. Do they have to watch and do they have to care? No. They could ignore me completely and just do their own content. But what have they been doing? Talking bad about me, coming up with other channels to scapegoat, to not address what's going on over here, direct lying, direct attacks, taking down my channel, cleanup person, saying hashtag time's up. Maybe you'll get to keep Cassandra's curse if I'm lucky, which was a threat. I believe maybe they watch, and if they can watch and get something out of it, great. But, you know, it's not for them. It's for you guys. I'm talking right now for you. People watching, the people in the chat. This conversation, me staying up at a really late hour, me getting to the nitty-gritty, me just telling the truth. It's for you guys. Because they're not going to do it for you, and they're not going to give it to you. So it's for you. And it's for anybody who watches and takes it seriously and believes it and it could help and is helping. It's for you. It's not for them. But, hey, Queen Vampire, how are you doing, sweetheart? What's up, sweetheart? I'm looking at the chat, so you're good? That's good, honey. You're up late, sweetheart. Queen, how's your cold? Because I know you weren't feeling well a week or so ago. You were really sick. How are you feeling now? Did you get over your cold, honey? Sparky says, I wish I would have come in 2 hours earlier. I feel bad butting in when I did. Sparky, you're needed here. You're needed. We need you here. We need you in the chat. We need you talking. We need the conversation. You're doing better. That's good. Yeah, I think, yes, Queen. I want you here in my chat. I really do. Because Queen is a supporter, right? I know you like the old man in the family. She does like the show. And I love Queen. And I love Mur. Okay, so don't think there's, you know, I'm taking one side or another. Come on. We're all mature here. But I'm happy to see you here so you can hear the difference of opinion. And also, you should be able to share your own opinion in the chat as well. It's very important. Okay, so let me see. What other questions do I have? All right, yeah. I mean, those are just some questions I have that lead directly back to the abuse. And if anyone in the Monopoly took them seriously or really answered them, and I will be asking them again, they would see that their points make no sense. Their arguments make no sense. They're illogical because they're untruthful. They're not correct. And they would also see that these questions tie directly back to abuse that's real, or if they don't want to say it's real, just like Angry Neighbor now is trying to say it's fake now, they have no means of answering these questions because it ties directly back to the abuse if you answer them honestly. That's why I wanted to ask you guys some really important questions today. Things that will never be answered by these people. Okay, there'll be a slew of attacks tomorrow. Someone's going to get a strike tomorrow, I'm sure. Someone's going to get a strike, and we got to care about their strike versus the abuse. Random channels that have nothing to do with my channel are going to get scapegoated and attacked. What else? What else do you think's going to happen tomorrow? What big drama will be tomorrow? So we can't talk about this abuse. What's going to happen now? Okay, Queen. Have a good night, sweetheart. Yes, and feel better, honey. I seen her on her live stream the other day. She was coughing, and she just did not feel like she was feeling well, but still very giving. Look up on her live stream, talking to her audience. She's a good woman. She's a good girl. Boot. Someone says boot Anthony. Who's Anthony? What's Anthony saying, and what's the problem? Because if I can have a conversation with them first before booting it with him, which is what I tried to do with Victoria, then I can't. Then I don't want to boot him if I can try to talk with him. But what is he saying? Where is he? Where is he? Anthony, what's the problem? What's an O spammer? Just get rid of them. I trust my audience. I trust Bree. I trust Brienne, and I trust Bree. They say boot you. Goodbye. See you later, Anthony. Thanks for not answering any of our very important questions over here that may prevent child abuse or abuse against women and children. Thank you for not taking it seriously. But Brienne and Bree, thank you. Thank you for taking it seriously. Sparky, thank you very much. You know, I appreciate that. What else? Do you guys have any direct questions for me? Because I just got up here to ramble because I don't like you guys getting fed garbage in 30-minute live streams. So, and you know, I have nothing to hide. I'm willing to address the abuse. So, is there any other questions you guys have before I get out of here? Before I check out and go to sleep because it's so late. It's getting late. Any other questions? Sparky, I don't know. I don't know. She'd have to address that she verbally abused her kid on camera and ignored the fact he was showing panic and distress and anxiety. If a child has anxiety as a child, there's something wrong. They've been in some very stressful situations. And you don't want to turn around and say they're fat and call them fat. So I don't know why the angry neighbor did that. Princess Charlie, BOG, who's that? They say, I think BOG will do 2 to 3 of his live streams, collecting his super chats, vaping, and absolutely nothing, contributing nothing to society. No questions, though. Who's BOG? Into surgery. At the end of the day, I'm still concerned about those kids. Into surgery. That's why I made the DSS call in Christmas time after the old man passed away. It didn't bode well in my favor because they used it against me. Did they not? Oh, the old man passed away and it's Christmas time and Rusted, you're a horrible person. You don't care about people that pass away that are child abusers. I was still concerned about the kids as well because the family at that point doesn't understand that neglect is abuse. And if you just can get that, then you can, you know, there could be abuse prevention. We can prevent some things from happening. I was also concerned because the sister didn't have custody of her kids and nobody has any idea why. And that's not normal. And that directly leads back to the abuse patterns in the abusive family also, doesn't it? Right? Look at Web of Deceit. Watch that video. I back it up 100%. And I back up the comments section, but not the sister's comment because she's there purposefully to distract and lie. All the proof you need is right there. It's in everything that I'm saying. It's in everything you're seeing and hearing. It's in everything that we're talking about. And I was still concerned with them at the end of last year as well into surgery. And that's why I didn't mind calling, and I didn't mind dropping that video, letting the audience know what was going on, because I know you guys care about the kids, and I know you guys care about children, and I know you care about abuse that's preventable when people are just sitting around filming it for money. Why don't you rap about that, Pickle Boy? Okay, Sparky, I'll try to check it out if I get a chance. I don't really watch her. And if I did, no one would take accountability. No one's taking accountability for any of the things that my own content. You know what I mean? It's really, really weird. Sparky, something that's very interesting is you mentioned this child from the UK, and they actually came on my channel today and said the abuse wasn't real. So instead of people going and looking at the angry neighbor act like a fool, which we already know, I would like to know how people are still getting away with saying the abuse I'm talking about is fake. How is that? How is that happening? How is that going on? How does that happen? I mean, he came over here and, you know, or was it the angry neighbor? Because she's using his account. I'm confused now. Now I'm utterly confused. I just don't think she should be using a child to do her bidding and do her dirty work. But maybe that was her on his account now. I have no idea. But either way, the person said it was all fake. They didn't say why. They didn't address any of these important questions I just told you on this live stream. They just said it was fake and no proof and moving on. Well, if you think it's fake, why are you even over here? And why are you afraid of what I have to say to my audience? Because they want you to shut your brain off. They want you to shut your brain off to this abuse in totality, and they don't want you to care about it. I don't care about the angry neighbor. I really don't. I care about her kid who she abused on camera. I care about these kids who went on camera and said they were abused. That's what I care about. I don't care about people that have time to lie. I don't have time for it, you know? Oh, wow. Well, she's using a child then, you know? No surprise there. Roasted, you are adored and respected by this subscriber. Keep your head up and are one worthy. You are on a very worthy mission, and you aren't walking it alone. What about the abuse? Thank you so much, Charlie. I appreciate that. I really do. Sometimes I feel like I'm talking in circles, and I talk so much, and I've said so much, and still nobody got it or understood or listened, and it's really not true. You know, Brianne, I seen you at the person in the corner tonight, and you hashtag what about the abuse, and I can't even tell you what that means to me. I can't even tell you what it means that Michael Fairfax and TJ Horner, didn't agree in the beginning, but they stuck around for the conversation, and then they started realizing things on their own accord and on their own behalf. So I appreciate that very much. I appreciate everybody in here that's hanging out. We got about 32 watching. Make sure to click the like button. The like button, it helps. It helps keep me going. It reminds me that you guys are there and that you are there for the difference of opinion, or you agree, or you see something wrong, or you see something that you don't like. And you're not getting enough of a conversation from them. You're not going to get the answers you need from them. So you have to come over here. And while you're over here, you'll see that my channel got taken down. You'll see that there's people over here lying. You'll see that there's people deflecting. You'll see that there's people that don't want you answering all these questions I talked about with you tonight that lead back to this abusive family and their decisions that keep children abused each and every time. Brianne says everyone's too busy fighting each other and not focusing on the things that matter. Absolutely. And that includes these channels that are there to distract. All these monopoly channels. You know, I don't even have 1,000 subs. And the cleanup guy had to get Miss T to not only hype up his music, his rap music, but as soon as I called her out, I checked her video out. This was a while ago. She was hyping up his music, going, his music's so fly, and his music's so great, it's fly. And I said, please come and check out my my diss track. And what about the abuse? And it got me an extra dislike. And that woman from that moment on was in cahoots talking directly back and forth with cleanup guy because she is working with him as either family or friend. Why do you think that these higher up channels are even taking the time to do that? I'm over here thinking about content to convey to you guys, and he's over there thinking about how he can scapegoat with a friendly fire. Why do you think he had to do that? Or did that with multiple channels? And it's still going on with Angry Neighbor. Why do you think that's going on, you guys? Why is there fake drama going on right now when I'm talking about real things? Is it because it's a little bit too real? We have to have all these channels try to shut down someone with 800 subs when none of those people have to watch anyways. They could be off creating content showing that they're good people, but because they're not, or because they don't want to act like they are, they have to lie and manipulate and attack every day. Do we see what's going on here, everybody? Princess says, you are very passionate about the subject, and that gets people's attention. People are listening and subscribing. That is why the monopoly keeps trying to shut you down. Yes. Yeah, pretty much. Yep. That's what, there it is. There it is. About 28 watching. I don't know. I feel like I've said so many things. Is there anything else I should tap in on? Is there any questions you saw earlier that I missed? No, I feel like you guys maybe, if you asked anything and I didn't get it, I apologize. I'm not looking at the chat the whole time because you guys are saying such wonderful things. It may trip me up and I may forget what I'm talking about, or it may start a whole new conversation. So I'm not able to monitor the chat the whole time. But let me know if you guys have any other questions. Any other questions about anything I talked about, tapped into today? About 28 watching, 29 likes up here. Make sure to click that like button. And Sparky, please remind everyone in the chat to check out my channel too. Because there are people that have been to my channel that cry over the abuse they've seen in my channel. So please support my channel. Please support Roasted Studios. There's videos on there that nobody in the monopoly, I mean, you want people to go watch, you know, The Angry Neighbor when there's people that haven't even seen my videos, or that have seen it that are lying about having seen it. Like Channel 1. And he says it's all lies. And then he says, oh, wait, it's not lies. The titles are lies because I haven't watched any of your videos. Because they know once they watch it, they have to say their opinion on it. And their opinion, whether it be fake or real abuse, is incriminating to the family. So that's another problem that's going on. People aren't admitting to watching my videos. So before we go over and support Angry Neighbor and watch her videos, please don't do that. Please watch me. Please watch Roasted Studios. Can somebody hold anybody accountable? If you're going to go over to Angry Neighbor, tell her to come over and answer these questions that I asked in the live stream, that not one person in the monopoly can answer. Not one person in Monopoly can answer any questions or even give an opinion. Can't even give you're good, you're fine, Sparky. Can't even give an opinion. Okay, Charlie says, what is your opinion on how Michael will attempt to destroy something when he gets mad? What is your opinion on he will also bite his lower lip when he gets mad? I don't know, because at the end of the day, he's just going to tell you it's all fake. Right? I buy items to break them. But what did we see in that one episode in the fake or real video with the old man? He wakes him up from the nap and he's playing the loud music. The CD doesn't end up broken there. And Michael was screaming about it. Don't break it. It's mine. You know, I don't know. I don't know why he's destructive. Maybe we should take a look at the dad. If we want to know why Pickle Boy is destructive, maybe we should take a look at the dad. Because abusing children is destructive. Abusing kids, and they grow up and they have their own kids and they can't even take care of them. That's sad. But they could have taken care of them if they were treated with love and respect and weren't scapegoated and thrown in neglect and abuse. They don't want you talking about what I'm talking about right now. Brienne says, I think it's sad they're looking for ways to replace the old man instead of coming up with new content. Yeah, I mean, how many times are we going to see, oh, you know, I felt that he was here, or, oh, this is a sign of him, or, oh, it's clickbait. Oh, it's abuse. Oh, it's manipulation. Let's kick him in his caboose. You know, I mean, it's enough. It's enough. Pickle Boy should be able to wrangle together his own comedy and his own willingness and ability to be a content creator and create content, but not off the backs of other people. Like I saw him do in an episode with his mother who was bent over naked having sex, and she got walked in on and was turned into an episode. And then we get to see Pickle Boy chastise a child on respecting women, and then thank only Bridget for having all this be possible, for having the money be there and the show. Yeah. Thank Bridget, because she did help you cover up the abuse and show the abuse and normalize it. And she agreed with everything and she backs up 100%. That's why you thank her. And you're not thanking your mom because you don't respect her, but you don't respect her to begin with because you film her naked and turn her into a mockery and humiliate her and show her on camera. Queen Vampire, Roasted, did you see what type in the room, boo? I'm not sure what you're talking about, honey. Ask me again. Into surgery. I'm a surgical trauma nurse and have been a volunteer crisis counselor for 25 years. I've watched this story and you for a long time. Thank you for your courage. Thank you, Into Surgery. I appreciate that very much. Sparky's going to bed. Sparky, thank you so much. You're good. I need you in the chat, so make sure. Make sure that you come by next time as well. I need you in here, really. Thank you, Real. Oh, Charlie, his poor mother fed his ass, not Bridget. Yeah, and not only that, mothers in the chat and people in the chat, people watching. Is it easy having a baby? Is there a lot of complications that can come about from having a kid? Is it easy just holding a kid in your stomach for 9 months? Is it possible the mother can die? Is it possible that that mother put up about 40 years of abuse? And at the end of the day, her son gets on camera and thanks the girlfriend who just gave up her own life to basically turn into the abuser, just like the boyfriend there. And the mother has to see that episode and not get thanked at the end of the day. Does that seem right? Brienne, she says, hell no, it's not easy being a mom. It's definitely not easy. Respect to you too, Sparky. And yeah, you guys go ahead and check out what Sparky's talking about. I'm not sure the name of the episode or the title or the link, but you can get in contact with Sparky, because Sparky, you do leave comments on these on on these live streams, so we can go back and check. If you want people to check things out, leave it there, or leave it in the chat or whatnot, you know? No, it's not easy. It's not easy being a mom, and it's not easy having children. And to be disrespected your whole life being a mom, and to have your children disrespect you on camera. They haven't grasped respect for women, because we have to push a child abuser in this show, and we have to push the anger. We have to push this anger. You have to buy in and feed this anger. Oh, Fan Kramer, you know what? When you can address any of the abuse without insulting me, I will then answer one of your questions, maybe. But then again, you have to remember, it's not about me, and you're here to manipulate people and put it back on me. Because whether or not that question is yes or no, which I've already actually answered it a long time ago, whether or not that question be real, and actually, if you want to know, why don't you ask the Angry Neighbor? Because Angry Neighbor and Pickle Boy said I can't have kids. They said I can't have my channel because they think I can't have kids. So maybe you can ask them that. And Fan Kramer, I took my time to go to your channel and praise you on your comedy on me, because you're against me. This person doesn't believe in anything I'm saying. He supports the old man and the family. So I just think it's so sad that I go there and I support you, even though you're speaking poorly of me, because I believe in comedy, because comedy's needed. If comedy's needed for these families who are oppressing people and abusing kids on camera, if I put my work out there, comedy's needed for me as well. And that's where you come into place. But it just looks really bad when I go over there and congratulate you on your comedy and you attack me and you don't address the abuse and you insult me and attack me. That doesn't make you look good, just letting you know. And it doesn't make you look good when I've been up 6 months and you haven't addressed the abuse, and now you want to put it back on me by asking me this question, even though you insulted me. And your answer is with the Angry Neighbor and Pickle Boy. They said I can't have kids, so I don't know why you're asking me. Why don't you go ask them, since they know everything about me? Brian, is that the only question you guys can ask? Brian, yeah. Yep, that's the only question. This is a supporter of the family and the old man. He does fabulous comedy. He's hilarious. So definitely check him out. But he's insulted me, and he's mad about my channel being up. And when my channel went down, he said I got toasted. And he loved it. He loved when my channel went down. And now here he is addressing no abuse, but asking me a specific question about myself, which he's hoping, whatever the answer will be, you'll hold me accountable versus everything I'm talking about. You hear me, Fan? I don't see you typing anything now. Where'd you go? Brianne, worried about if some woman on YouTube has kids or can have any. Yes, because that's the conversation. Yep. Nope, we can't talk about the abuse. Don't talk about the abuse. Don't talk about the abuse patterns. Just attack Roasted. Just attack me. All right, well, I appreciate the insult. He just said something pretty mean, very insulting. But you know what? Your comedy's excellent. I don't really feel like you really hate me. I feel like you really understand what's going on. You know there's abuse. And so you can only say something abusive and mean and hurtful. People in the chat, did that just prove my point or no? Answer me that. Did this person whom I complimented on his comedy, who just insulted me, who I told you to check his channel out, who has only insulted me, won't address the abuse, and who only wants to know about me, did he just paint the point very clearly by attacking me when I have no problem with him whatsoever? Yeah, no, it's not mature. It's not mature to attack people. I've told everybody I've never abused and neglected a kid, so I can speak out on behalf of what I'm saying. I do have the right. I want the prevention to be there. It's not good that people just listen to you because you're acting like a bully. You're trying to stick up for that family and you're trying to bully me in hopes that nobody listens to what I'm saying, but you want them to listen and respect you. I have to admit, I don't watch your channel. I watched it once and I went and I supported you, but I'm not going to get into a back and forth with you because you're a distraction channel, basically. And because you have nothing concrete or anything of any value or any worth to say other than insulting people. Did you guys see his insult? I mean, I deal with that every day. Every single day I deal with that. And there's some channels I want you to check out. Check out Kizzy Bug, because she's a very strong, powerful woman that spoke out against abuse today and spoke out in behalf of hashtag what about the abuse. That's Kizzy Bug, KizzieBug, all one word. Kizzy Bug, KizzieBug. Another channel I want you to check out is Crazy Ellen. And can you put Crazy Ellen's link in the chat and put Kizzy Bug's link in the chat and put Bubba Boo in the chat too? Another channel I want you to check out is Crazy Ellen. This person gives her opinion on the family and makes such great videos, and they need more subscribers. It's like that hidden gem. It's like, go sub already, you know? So you're going to want to check out Crazy Ellen. Do you have the... Okay, you got to put them in the chat. You want to check out Crazy Ellen. You want to check out Kizzy Bug, who's a strong, powerful woman. Queen, I didn't, honey. I'm not even... it's hard. It's hard to watch the chat and talk at the same time for me. Let me see. Hang on. Queen says, has anyone sent me video, pics, or audio of the abuse? No. It's all on the old channels. You could just go click on the channel names, or you could just watch my channel. Nobody's ever sent me those things. There are people in the community that do tell me to look at a certain video or do tell me their opinion on what's going on, and I may incorporate it sometimes. But mainly it's just my opinion and opinions I've garnered with having conversations at this point with other people. There are other people that have been showing me things. But the things I show you are things that I see as well, and things that I back up 100% that I'm seeing. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? I don't know. So you want to check out Kizzy Bug, you want to check out Crazy Ellen, and check out Bubba Boo. Because I got convinced the other day into believing that you shouldn't do comedy on abuse survivors and all this. And I did my comedy way before even talking about these things, and finding out just the extent of this abuse, and way before the sister even like reached out to me. You're seeing a lot of re-uploaded comedy on my channel from a while ago. But I got convinced into thinking that these abusers, like even Pickle Boy, he was abused, you know? But is he an abuser? And does he manipulate the audience? And is he still oppressive? And if so, comedy is still needed towards him. Comedy is still needed. People need comedy against me to be able to hear what I'm saying. And I'm fine with that because comedy's great. That's how it works. But if they need comedy against me, then we need comedy against the oppression and the abuse that we're seeing and the power trips that we're seeing, because it's still going on. So comedy's needed. So check out Bubba Boo, Bubba space BOO. The link is right here. Comedy's needed. You need some comedic relief, because if you just go around thinking kids get abused all the time and people get away with it, you're going to feel pretty depressed. It's not a good feeling. You need comedy. Comedy's needed. Queen, you're welcome. Yeah, some people have helped out with things and others haven't. It's mainly all me, but you know, you get all the material from the older channels, and people throw their opinions in and things like that, you know? And just like I'm mentioning people, I mention people's channels names, right? I acknowledge you guys in the chat. I don't just ignore what you're saying, like the person in the corner, an angry neighbor, and the cleanup guy will, or Pickle Boy. I ask directly. I answer direct questions and everything. So I don't know. 30 people still watching. I know there's not 30 people in the chat, but every now and again, do you guys see one creep up in here and try to like manipulate the conversation? Do you guys see that? And why is it always people that disagree and that are just supporters and fans blindly, or are these people in the monopoly just backing up the money? You know, it's just the weirdest thing to me that they can't just acknowledge the truth. And the fact that they're not acknowledging it, everybody should be able to see that what I'm saying is the truth because they're so hot and bothered by it. I mean, why would that gentleman who does the comedy, whom I praised him on his comedy, why would he feel the need to come in here and insult me in that manner? Well, I'll tell you, because I have the patience enough to do so, even though he doesn't think I do. He wants to distract you. He wants you to ask questions about me. He wants you to think about me. He wants just to solely attack me. In the process, is that person even stopping and thinking why he's doing those things? Or why maybe even trying to trigger, which they can't even do that at this point because everything they're saying is wrong about me. So they have no way to even take the channel down, sadly. But somebody who's going to shut their brain off to not holding the family accountable, I mean, not that smart, really, at the end of the day. Just mean and malicious and vindictive. That's vindictive, what that guy just did in the chat. Let me think here for a second, because I've been rambling for a long time and I've said a lot of different things. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to tell you before I wrap up this stream. They really want to manipulate you guys into not caring, basically. And to not thinking further and to not pushing it. That's what they want to do. That's what they are doing. That's what's been going on. And the insults don't bother me because they're to be expected. I'm expecting them. Do you think that this family is going to take this channel line down, even though they don't have to pay any attention to it whatsoever? No, and they are going to pay attention because they don't want you hearing it because it's the truth. And because you might think badly of the old man at the end of the day, and maybe you won't buy a shirt with a brand that helped kids and women and men get abused. Brianne says, keep the focus off of them so they can continue to make the money. Exactly. And that's why I asked such specific questions today. And did you see that comedic person? He didn't come in when I was asking the questions. He came in when he thought the coast was clear so he can insult me and trigger me. And we just basically sent him upon his merry way because he doesn't change my content. I think he wishes that I watched him, but I don't. I don't even I don't even watch Pickle Boy daily. I really don't. I've seen one of his episodes, one of the newest ones, for the first time in months. And it's only because people told me to go there. Because here's the truth. I have a channel right now with material that either has been created or hasn't yet. You know, I have all the video ideas. And my content comes from their older videos, things that haven't been touched in a while. So I don't need to watch anybody currently to figure out as to what I'm going to say. Mind you, the things I'd be focusing on having to talk about anyways is them insulting me or just lying or deflecting. So I have a channel where I don't need to watch or talk to anybody. And I have multiple people coming over, attacking, watching me, and even trying to rip down the channel, and it already did get ripped down. That's what's going on right now. That's the dynamic. So every time you see someone insult me, or lie or like change the topic or subject, and you think, oh, they got away with it again. Just remember, my channel's up and they don't want it to be up. Just remember the channel's up and it's not up for them. So they have no say as to whether or not it should be up or can be up. They're wasting their time and spinning their wheels when they maybe should just be admitting to the truth. Because not everybody's perfect. So I don't know why they're claiming they are. All of a sudden, when they've had so many imperfections their whole life that caused everybody to get abused. Mind you, Pickle Boy doesn't want to take any support for anything. Brianne says, I got news for you. I will never support anyone who mocks abuse. Take the shirts and peddle your awareness somewhere else. Yeah, basically. That sorry ass show that Pickle Boy keeps peddling every day. The kids that have been abused and everybody, and these sorry ass followers, these blind ass followers that they have, like the guy I just had to block, who wants to insult me versus address not even one thing I've said in 3 hours. Just comes over and insults me. Does that paint the picture as to what's going on? I don't buy the shirts. I don't buy the lies. And I'm not going to buy it. And you shouldn't buy it either. But I'm not going to tell you not to buy it. What I'm telling you is to think for yourself. When I take the time to explain setups, do I explain them well? Is it exactly what's happening? When I tell you there's monopolies and channels working directly with each other, does it make sense? Do you see it? Am I just talking out of my ass over here? The videos that I've put together and I've taken the time to put together, which Cleanup Guy hasn't addressed any of them and nobody needs him to, but why did he take my channel down and then come over and mock me and laugh and threaten me and say hashtag time's up? Why do you think he would do that? Why did he do that? It's getting a little bit too real over here. And I thank YouTube for allowing my videos up and for allowing the conversation to be alive and stay alive, because maybe it'll prevent some abuse from happening. Maybe Pickle Boy won't grab one of those kids and humiliate them and exploit them again, even though the mother's standing right there next to him allowing it to happen. Maybe it'll stop eventually. Maybe he will care less about the money. That's not going to happen. I don't know. If this is all it ever is, I'm fine with that. If this is all it ever is, just me talking with you guys and spreading awareness. But as you can see, they don't even want this. Not even allowed to have this, apparently, without being insulted in some manner. Charlie's going to bed. Good night. I'm going to head to bed in a minute, too. I feel like I'm rambling and I've ran out of things to say. Unless you guys have any more questions. Brand says enough is enough. Yeah, it's enough. I mean, I feel I've shown enough things and I've said enough things for people to think for themselves as to what they want to do. And I'm not even done. I've got like a lot more video ideas. So, hey, Machine Gun, you're fine, but I'm like wrapping up. I'm wrapping up over here, baby. I've been talking for 3 hours over here. Hey, I'm walking over here. You missed all the fun. You missed all the people evading and avoiding our questions and not answering and just insulting me with things that roll right off my back because it's not true about me. The people that insult me, I could tell you, hey, their comedy's good. Here's something. Remember I said earlier they need comedy for me and we need comedy against them because of all this abuse, all these nasty things we're saying. There's a person, I'm just going to shout his channel out because I spoke with him. I didn't speak with him, you know. I wrote a comment and he got back to me and he was very, very polite. And I thought he was sweet. This Wagons engineer, this person that did a rap on me, And there's death threats in there. And I told him, I said, yeah, I think the death threats take away from your talent, but I see what you're doing over here. And you did such an awesome job on your rap against me. You did a good job, okay? Who's on those videos, the rap videos, laughing, getting their comedic relief, which they need against me? The angry neighbor and the sister who just shaved their head. Okay, now some would say, wow, you have so many subscribers. Why are you on a channel with 200 subs laughing about Roasted Studios getting death threats made against her? Well, yeah, it looks very immature. But it backs up and supports what I'm saying, does it not? Do we not all need some comedy up in this bitch? Do we or do we not? Can you get through your life without comedy, without someone turning something around, making it funny to make it better? And abuse is not one of those things, because you can't make abuse funny. It's not funny. It'll never be funny. Child abuse is never funny. Making fun of people for being gay isn't funny. Racism isn't funny. If you could write a song, if you could do a roast, go for it. I support that. I support the guy who insulted me greatly in here, and we had to get rid of him. This Kramer person, sad to say. Huh? Cameron? Oh, sorry. I support the comedy. It's needed. But the insults and the direct deflection is not needed, and the smart audience sees what you're doing, and they don't like it. Fire Dude 42. What's up, baby? How are you doing? Machine Gun, right on. Have a great night. Always a pleasure speaking with you. Are you heading out already? I'm going to talk 3 more hours again for you. Just kidding. When you came in, I ran out of things to say. Then something came to mind. So I am very happy that you came in, Machine Gun. Fire Dude, love seeing you. Brienne, love seeing you. I hate to cut it because I see people are just coming in. People I like are just coming in. But, you know, I got to get to bed and I got things to do tomorrow. And I'm going to be on lack of sleep for it. But it's worth it because it's worth reconnecting with you guys. You're worth speaking the truth for. You're worth getting all hot and bothered for. You're worth it. These people are worth it. The subscribers, even the people that don't like me or don't believe me and want to just insult me, like that person we had to get rid of, and Victoria Cotton earlier. People that just directly don't answer or really important questions that tie back to this family being abusive. I'm even thankful for you because maybe you'll listen and you'll take something out of it, whether you want to admit it or not. Maybe something will go well in your life or something can be better. Oh my God, Brienne's going to get up in 3 hours. Yeah, really, I know. Yeah, I feel you. Yep. I'm going to be tired today. So, okay, well, I'm going to cut it because I'm just a big rambling woman. I am. 27 watching. The real UK, Brienne, Bree, Fire Dude, Crystal Meth Machine Gun. I know Queen was in here earlier. Charlie, Princess Charlie, Autumn Loving, Jay Warner. I love seeing you, sir. Into Surgery. I appreciate your questions today. This camera person, I don't appreciate you being insulting, but good luck with your comedy, sir. You're a funny person, but avoiding questions about abuse isn't funny, and it speaks to who you are. Sparky. I think I already said Brienne. Who else was in here? Gotta give shout outs for people who stuck it out for me. Dr. Pepper. Huh? No, I missed it. Oh, Bree Anderson. Yeah, I said her. Oh, I said Bree. Okay. My chat's all messed up now. Okay, but you guys could see like how inexperienced I am with these live streams and chats, and they're not always going to be perfect, but I am going to tell you exactly how I feel. That I promise you. You're not going to get a load of garbage over here ever because you don't deserve it, and because I like the people that are listening. Brienne, great stream, and they keep getting better. Thank you, sweetheart. Good night, Fire Dude, and I hope everyone re-listens if you weren't able to join us from the very beginning. Thank you for everybody that did. Where do I go here from now? I know, but the computer's all like not working. Oh, right here. Okay, guys, love to everybody. Don't forget, before you go to sleep tonight or this early this morning, don't forget to give yourself a compliment and praise yourself for something that you do that makes you powerful as a person. Don't forget to give back to yourself. Love to you all. Roasted Studios, and I'm out, baby.